Once again, family, good evening. Hello, we are here. We are live. We're in studio. A shot of Soca, shot of Myra Studios, Carib Culture. First and foremost, all you like, subscribe, and share everything because we can't just be doing this for doing its sake. You understand? We need all you to make sure you share it with other people. You understand? We're not looking for no handout and thing, yeah?
No.
You understand? But you have a basket? You have a basket, right? We don't have a basket. We don't have a crocus bag. We have nothing like that. All we're saying is, if it is you want to learn and hear a little bit more about our culture and the various, everything that goes on within the diaspora, follow A Shot of Soca. Like, subscribe, and share. I am here once again in studio, not by myself, but my wonderful co-host.
Hi guys, it's Annie.
Yeah, Annie have a little bit too much rum.
No, it's
right?
not rum.
It's rum right here, Annie. You tell me it's rum.
No, well, it's actually a bit of rum.
Exactly.
But it's mainly the change in temperature and the cold is what's there. But anyway.
All we was in studio 2 days ago, yeah? Let me just say that very clear. So that change in temperature, it's too brisk for you to be there already. You know, we back in studio and we have 3 fantastic guests with us from various parts of our community, you know, within the diaspora, and they have their own light of own lane of Notting Hill Carnival 2024, as well as within their roles within Notting Hill Carnival and within the Soca fraternity and within the cultural aspect of the UK and spreading that love and joy of the culture. You know, so natural mistake.
Why you sigh when you said
the man sit down over there like Morpheus. Like Soca Morpheus inside here.
In the illustrious words of the great Bounty Killer, I are the one.
I are the one. Yeah, natural mistake is inside the house. You know, representing for all things I and I.
Which is right.
Aye. And we have Rory Peters inside the house as well, representing for Playmas. And of course, we have Goodmuse is here with us. Okay. You know, and individually they'll let you all know, as they will, who they are and, you know.
Who they are, what they do.
What they do. So we will leave Morpheus for a minute.
No problem, sir.
All right.
So you can't call him that because I'm actually going to spill out my drink.
I know, but it's the way how he said it across from me. I thought he was going to say red pill.
Are you going to behave today?
It's going to be white rum, dark rum.
No rum. I think no rum. That's a good one. You know, but
white rum.
So Goodmuse. If you want to plug us in with who you are and where we follow you all and stuff like that as well one time.
So I'm Jonathan, co-founder of Goodmuse, an events and ticketing app, and you can find us at Goodmuse app on all the socials. Nice.
So I'll give all you a little thingy thing. You're looking for somewhere to go Friday night? Goodmuse. You're looking for somewhere to go Saturday night? Goodmuse. You're looking for somewhere to go next week? Oh, you get the point, right? Goodmuse. Rory, Playmas.
Yeah, I'm one of the directors of Playmas. We are, I guess, a predominantly carnival-based platform to enable the sale of carnival costumes. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background, but I guess to the public, that's what we do.
Okay.
So yeah, you want to register with a band, you go on their website, they click register now, and then typically you'll be sent to us to complete your registration.
Wow, nice.
Oh, cool.
Nice. You know, well, glad to have you on board. Glad to have you here. It's been a while. I know we was meant, and I openly say it, they was meant to be here a while ago. You know, but it's just that. I didn't realize me and Annie arguing a while, right?
We actually haven't.
But you're looking for it.
Me.
Because who tell you go all the way to St. Lucia? And I chose not to do anything by myself. But the minute I jump and go somewhere, what Annie does do?
Consistency.
You understand what I'm saying? Consistent what? My backside. Shucks. Shucks.
I know you'd miss us, so I gave you something while he was gone, but yeah.
You know, and somebody who's drinking rum, I natural mistake drinking rum. You know, show them what you do now. Show them what you do. Show them what you do one time.
Man, drink rum from the calabash.
Calabash, you know? That's the thing there. Yeah, man. College, I would say. To be
What
fair-
are you drinking in your calabash?
Shall I show them?
Water.
Yeah, yes.
Water.
Listen, show them. Just just
No,
show
to make
them.
to make Annie happy, I'll show them what I'm drinking. You know what? This drink good with water as well.
Then
Dennis.
Ross.
Most people know Chairman's and Bounty. This is the real thing from St. Lucia. The proper fall over, sweat, lick your head.
And that's what he's choosing to drink today.
like
So,
Looks like it.
so
Just
let me
putting that out
understand the
there.
common sense behind that, right? That is a real fall over, bust your head,
Yeah.
and you're promoting that.
No, because I'm a professional. So,
So you're a professional
yeah.
when it comes to busting your head.
No, I don't bust. I'm saying for the regulars, that's what it does. For us professionals,
Yeah.
Drinker.
we're good.
That's why you could drink it from the calabash.
Big
I
bad
will
man
see
drink
you in
rum from
about
the
half an
calabash.
hour on this podcast. that calabash is going shake.
If you have watched this podcast before, you know how alcohol intake goes and how
Don't worry, I'm
people
good,
end
I'm
up.
good, I'm
So
good.
we're
I'll
not
be
trying to
back.
do a 3-hour episode today.
Yeah, don't worry, man. We're good.
You know, we ain't doing
I'm
that
just saying
today.
in general
In
because
general.
the episodes, the rum
Nice.
takes over.
So we have our guests in studio, and first and foremost, should we ask them what was their carnival experience like? If you should go
Yeah.
there?
First of all, well, I haven't asked because I don't know whether you all attended carnival.
Yeah.
So did you all attend
Yeah, they all
carnival?
did. Yeah.
Don't miss
Yeah.
carnival.
Yeah,
Don't
I
Both
see
days?
him. I see him. I don't ever see him, but I
You
know
saw
he
me.
there.
I heard him.
Where is he?
He was in his truck
On
was in
Kenzo
front of.
Rise, and I offered you a shot of rain if you told me
wow.
no.
I walked off.
No, you were sitting on the truck.
No,
Remember?
I said no.
you
Yes.
Just before,
So you did see
before we
him?
went on the road.
Yeah.
And I offered
Yeah,
you.
because we passed them on the streets.
I
I
offered you a
apologize.
spirit,
I don't want none of your
and
spirits.
you
Keep
said
it down.
no,
Ross.
so.
Keep your level.
Keep it down. Ross. Keep that to the fireball curb. Kick it. Kick it.
So did you attend both days, Monday and Sunday?
How you just do that?
What?
Sunday and Monday, not Monday and Sunday.
Did you attend Sunday and Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I can ask you, overall, out of 10, what would you give Notting Hill Carnival this year out of 10?
Personally, I loved it.
Personally?
Out of 10, I'll give it a 9
Oh wow.
on both days
Wow.
because I played with Island Mass.
Okay, we'll come back to you with
Okay.
the
Sprinkle
reasons
mass.
why.
That's sprinkle mass. And that's sprinkle mass. That's your mass. Let's say, man, he was so trying. Annie.
It was a bit,
All right.
What is-
All right. Cool. So here's 9 out of 10, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Sir Peters.
Try to draw me out.
I did attend both days. I took my daughter on Sunday, and that was her first experience of carnival, so that was nice.
Oh, that's
Mm.
lovely. Did she enjoy it? Sorry.
She did. She did. Monday, do you know my? I feel it's a bit unfair for me to judge, only because my perspective of carnival is slightly
No,
unique.
that's what
That's
everyone
okay,
says
but-
when they
but
come
out
on
of
this
10
show.
though.
out of,
Yeah.
but I
But
do,
out
I
of
don't,
10
so when I
Everyone
go,
says
you don't see me and most people,
Mhm.
is that when I go to carnival, like I'm going to observe,
Mm.
if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going, because I attend so many carnivals in a year,
Mm.
I'm not, it's not, there is such thing as like, you're kind of carnivaled out.
Carnival
So I'm not
fatigue.
going, I'm not leaving my house like,
There's no
yeah,
such
I'm
thing
going to
as
go up there and
carnival
get drunk.
But there was a day,
It's not.
there was like,
Anyway, that was a long time ago. So the new me
The new
goes
you.
to carnival,
Yeah.
and my main aim is I want to make sure, I want to observe most of the bands, as many bands as I can see for the day, because I realize that when a lot of these conversations happen after, I like to be able to have seen it for myself.
yeah.
So my main aim is I always have the same kind of strategy. I come on, and then I will go backwards along the route, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
What are you looking at?
No, the microphone just started shake there. Go ahead.
I hit it.
Yeah.
so I'll go backwards and I just see how many bands I can meet.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I do that, and then I come back up, the day done. But
Nice.
it's
Okay.
kind of just to see who and what
that's
and where
nice.
and why and what and see
That's
what
nice,
the
but that
tracks are
wasn't
saying.
out of 10.
Out of 10, I think this year, from my observations, I think security did a much better job for most bands, from what I could
Agreed.
see. Like the
Yeah.
Masqueraders seemed like they were much happier this year overall. There were definitely examples I saw where some Masqueraders looked quite exposed in terms of like maybe security only being around like truck 1, and then when you see truck 2 miles up the road,
Yep.
and then they're just everyone's chasing the truck and
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah. We had that.
I'm disappointed that we don't have a stage, like a stage at Notting Hill, and I understand the practicalities around doing it where they want to do it. If I was to give it, I guess as an event, out of 10 score this year, I think I'd give it maybe a 7.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Cool.
Natural mystic.
And the Oracle has told you?
Yeah.
You need to behave.
Intrinsically, I'm saying an 8.
Uh-huh.
Is that for both days?
8.5. Huh?
Is that for both days?
Yeah.
Okay.
And extrinsically, a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
A 8 and a 6.
Yeah. Intrinsically, when you're part of a mass band, you spend a whole year
Yeah.
preparing. You see from the launch to the costumes being made. You're there, the carnival week, and people picking up costumes. And so to go on the road and see that all come together as one, it brings a level of, like, you get a buzz just from that.
Yeah.
I DJ on the truck. I love playing music, so that's a level of excitement as well. For that aspect of it is great. When it comes to the politics of Carnival, when it comes to the organization who owns Carnival and seeing how they have a vested interest in destroying Carnival while they reap the financial benefit from it, that's where the 6 comes in, because you walk through Carnival, and if your third eye is open, like I like to keep mine open, and it does help with a long day with 2 shots of spirit, it helps you to focus and concentrate.
No, Paul, sorry. You're telling me the rum helps your third eye?
Listen, of course, it's a medium to that side.
When you're
It's a medium to that side.
It actually is. It's just that when we just drink it too much, where we go a bit over the other side than we're supposed to be. But you drink some
Fair
rum and you
enough.
look
You learn
around and you
something
free
new
what's
every
going
day.
on. It's disheartening to see what Carnival has come from. And I don't mean Trinidad Carnival and Grenada Carnival. And I'm talking Notting Hill Carnival and what it was. It's disheartening to see what it's become. But it's still my culture, so I'm still going to go out there and enjoy it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you said when I asked you. Is that you're always going to give Carnival?
Yeah, it's always
It's
going to get.
Carnival.
It's
Carnival.
always going to
Carnival.
get. It's always going to get their
intrinsic, but when I
full
look around,
flowers.
it has to be a 6.
No matter what craziness goes on within the elements of it and how people choose to have the different points of view of it, what it represents, and if it is you make 1 foot out your house to represent that culture in the right way, that's a 10 out of 10. Straight. You understand me? Because you're doing it for the right reasons. You're not doing it for your own personal gain, because there's nothing to gain. You're going out there to gain something from something that's already been long standing. So that means if it is you're going to go out there and gain something from it, that means it's already a 10. That's why you want it. That's why you want to feel it and be a part of it.
You know where our perspective is different as well? We are both in bands that keep the tradition of Children's Day on Sunday. When you see the children out there dancing, jumping up to the music and whatever, some of them, half the songs they don't know.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of the music in them, and you see them and you say, all right, cool. This is where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
The problem is those same children get big and forget that culture. There's a disconnect that's coming, but it's still a joy to see them 5, 6, 7 years old in their costume, listening to soca, listening to calypso, and just enjoying being free within their culture. So
I agree.
I think that slides nicely onto your. To say it was your daughter. That
Mm.
played.
Yeah.
Can I ask what band did she play?
No, we just
Or just freestyle it?
Just yeah.
I thought for the first year, let me just show you what it's about. Let me make you understand. You've probably never been around this many people in your life.
Right.
Yeah, to understand what a truck looks like. And
How old was she?
she's 9.
9. Okay.
So
Wait,
been
boy, she's
hesitant.
9?
yeah, which
Judgment.
for a lot
Making
of
you feel
people,
old.
Rory, so that means I've known you for
I know,
judgment.
Since Super Trini's
yeah.
old.
a lot of years.
So-
Ask, at 9, why is it the first time you decide to bring her at 9?
Honestly, practically, I've always been involved in. So when I first started going to Notting Hill, it was as a DJ. So that for me wasn't going to work. And then it was being involved with the band. That wasn't going to work. And only now am I like disconnected from
Yeah.
any one entity where I can kind of be that free to kind of take my kids with me like
Yeah.
that. 2 was from a safety aspect. I've always been funny about Carnival is one of those places that, I don't get into trouble in Carnival being outside of the ropes because I understand how to maneuver and operate,
Yeah,
what time to
of
maneuver and
course.
operate.
Yeah.
And I have a plan in my head of where I'm coming in and when I'm
Tell you
leaving,
when I'm leaving,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm never really intoxicated like that on the road to say that I lose my mind,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of the, like my niece, my niece went up there with her friends for the first time on the Monday, and she called me like 8 p.m. on the Monday, like, yeah, Uncle Rory, I don't know where I am.
I don't know what's
No,
going
no.
on. Yeah.
I don't know how to get out of here. I'm in some, like, she sent me her location. She's far Barbie Road somewhere. She don't know how to, like,
Yeah.
how to, you know?
Yeah.
Holland Park, just turn left and go straight,
Yeah,
straight
right.
down. Just keep walking straight.
Right. So, for the young people, I'm trying to just kind of just bring my daughter in and just kind of show her bit by bit. But yeah, that was my experience. I think next year we'll probably do the costume thing and get a costume and participate with one of the kids' bands.
Nice.
I think that'll be the next level. But, I'm cool to take my time with it. I know some people have their kids on road from 6 months.
They're just there with their pram, just in the pram, just going over bottles and everything.
And each their own. But I wanna take my time with it. And to be honest, because I'm involved with it so much, she gets quite a lot of exposure to Carnival just because I'm in it every day of my life, kind of thing. So
nice. Okay. But so let me just ask a question, right? So we know that someone lost their life within Carnival. The time Carnival was actually going on, the young lady lost her life, and she was with her kid. How would you speak to other parents from that eye? As a parent with their kids going to Carnival, what would you say? What would you need them to understand and say, it's not things. Unfortunately, circumstances happen. Would you say that you would next year wouldn't take your child, or would you say these are things that happen and we can't really foresee it?
I always say go to Carnival with a plan, and that's my personal advice to anyone. Like I said, I know already I would execute the same route. Everyone will find me in the same places because I'll do the same thing every year. Because I found that is the reason why I don't get into trouble. I don't really see trouble and I don't get troubled is because I operate in a certain kind of way. And most time I'm by myself or I'm with one person, right? So I could easily be a target regardless of my size, right?
Yeah.
So I know that particularly when I'm with my child, I know that, right, I'm going up there. If she's in a band next year, we're going up there early. We're going up there 9 and we are not going to be there later than 2. I'll tell you that for free, right? As soon as 2, 3 at the very latest, we're going. Because you see there's an energy shift at Carnival.
Everyone always says that around that certain time.
As the sun starts to set, there's an energy shift. And you have to be, I'm not saying that if I'm by myself and without my child, I'm I'll be at Carnival maybe till 6, maybe 6:30 at the latest, maybe 7 if I'm really feeling it. But besides that, I'm good. And I'm gonna head home before the rush, before everybody starts heading there, So I think to speak to parents, I would recommend joining a band. I think that's always going to be the safest way, or being around the route of the bands tends to be the least troublesome spots in Carnival, I found. Avoiding sound systems as much as it might be tempting because you want to, but avoid the sound systems. And I don't mean that to bash sound systems in general, but I'm just saying that there's a certain crowd that goes to sound systems that realistically is probably not suitable for, particularly if you have young children. Right? 100%. So stay near to the bands and leave early. Now that doesn't necessarily 100% mean that you're gonna avoid trouble because, like you said, stuff happens. If you did those 3 things, and you had a clear plan about where you're coming in and where you're exiting, you come with your drinks there already, and you come prepared, and I think it can be a nice family day out.
I
agree, but not many people would say Carnival's a family day out.
We even had a comment. Remember, we have a comment on our page as well where it is somebody was like, "Oh, I wouldn't have my kids coming out there, because it's just getting worse and worse." And I would say is just an opinion.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's not backed by any real. I mean, they report crime left, right, and center. If you look at the crime that happens in that day, and you look at other festivals, and you look at what happens in London on a daily basis.
Yeah. And it genuinely is opinion. And I feel like, as you said, if you speak to masqueraders that go to Carnival, there's hardly any trouble actually on Carnival route. So if you're with a band, that is literally the safest. Well, is one of the safest places that you can be, if you get what I mean. Like, there's trouble everywhere, but yeah.
And I mean, as you said earlier, I can't remember if it was you or you said about security was much better this year.
Yes.
I have to say 100%.
Yep.
Because anyone, it doesn't matter whether you're female, it didn't matter.
Yep.
If you're not part of the band, get out.
Yeah.
Out. But it wasn't like they were being
aggressive
rude
with
or
it,
aggressive. It's just like,
it was
okay,
like, I'm doing my job, leave.
Yeah, you need to
You're not
leave.
supposed to,
And that's it. And the ones that I saw, they complied. They just said,
Majority
okay,
people
no
did,
problem.
yeah.
Under
But
the
what
rope.
time of the day was that? Because it comes on sometimes the time of the day where they'll comply, and sometimes they just wouldn't comply. See, like five
But I feel
in
like
the
that's
evening.
the time that's when the alcohol's kicked in and
Yeah,
people
that's when
just...
they just don't care no more.
Well, with our band, it was a case of, because it was like the first one on the road. So we crossed the line around about, I say it was about 2:30.
You're across stage?
Yep.
On
On
Monday.
On Sunday?
On the Monday.
On the Monday,
On
half
Monday,
two?
half
About
two.
2:30.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
That's
Island
very
Mass. So
early,
that
yeah.
was that was blessed.
Yeah.
So even about
So go.
45 minutes to an hour before we crossed the stage, they were telling people you had to get into their sections.
Yep. And that's,
right?
yeah.
And it was just everyone was complying. It was just a nice vibe. But I can see that, and that was because it was still relatively early. People weren't really intoxicated.
No.
And people were just cool.
Yeah.
So we crossed the stage, no drama, fine. As soon as we went round,
Did you have a lot of general public around you when you crossed the stage?
Yeah, I mean, for me, every carnival, I have a problem with. Okay, so there's I can't remember the name of the road, but just before you get to the stage, there's a road on the right hand side.
This man's an A to Z.
What's the name of the road?
So it's Kansas Road, and then you turn down onto Westbourne Park, where the station is there, and the fire station is across the road here, and that's the same road as the Judges Point. So the road that comes over from there, right?
Right. So there's a road on the right.
Yeah.
I believe people should just be, if you're not part of the band, if you're not in any formal capacity, you should be directed that way.
Yeah.
Because even when you're walking along and you're outside the rope, it just causes too much congestion. So I think that's something that they need to seriously address.
I know a lot of people agree with that.
I know they might say, "Oh, there's too many people and blah blah blah. We don't have enough." Get the people, get the stewards in. I know this year they had a whole lot of stewards there. Yes, the police were doing their job, but at the same time, they had a lot of stewards. Get more stewards in. So as I said, right, if you're not part of this band or not part of a band, you need to walk that way.
Yeah, and just create a line.
Yeah.
You could create a line. You could create a chain that filters people that way.
100%.
You understand?
Interesting that, because I heard you say that on the last episode when you was giving your review. I didn't really say that now, but when we crossed Judging Point, there was nobody on that side. When we got to the top where the fire station is, there was police and stewards there.
Yeah.
So anybody else had to go on the other side.
On the side, yeah.
So when we got to Judging Point, between us and the judges, there was no one. So when I heard you say that, I was surprised, because when we crossed Judging Point, there was nobody on the left. Everybody was on the right, and people
because
at the
they
top
come
was
back,
being redirected around.
Because when it is they come back and they walk past the station, right? They can just come back on right there.
Okay.
So from the time it is they come over that bit there, if some of them filter into the band and they end up coming through on the left hand side, and a lot of them will cross quickly and walk alongside the band on the right hand side of the band, they will then come back on, literally just as you pass the station there, they could come back on and they're right there, and they just come on. You understand? When it just doesn't make sense to me how it is they're able to do that. And I mean, some people, they will jump over and try to filter through the masqueraders, but at the end of it, I don't understand how it is. It's not that it's a very not difficult thing to sort out.
It's not. They just,
It's just that you just have to be practical with it.
Yeah.
And find the right people that are willing to, and you have to be willing to do the job
That's
as
what I
well.
said. You have to want to sort it out.
Absolutely.
You have to be willing to do it.
That's
Trying
the
to be
main
polite.
point. Many years ago, there was would have been just before COVID. There was an organization set up called ROC, Reclaim Our Carnival. And I was going to a lot of those meetings. And at one point, they wanted me, and it's funny, they wanted me to become the youth leader of the organization. And my band leader said, don't do it, because they will throw you under the bus. And that meeting, that organization the following year disbanded because people started throwing each other under the bus, big grown people. But the police chief who was in charge of Carnival, very arrogant devil, who sat there in front of us, very disrespectful to people that was there. And he made a very interesting statement. And people was talking about safety, because they're saying they're closing this road for safety and they're doing this for safety and they need more police for safety. And he said, when people were questioning certain things about safety, his words were, the safety of Carnival is not my officer's business. And we was like, okay. So you're creating all of these, you're blocking off all of these roads. This is all these roads are being blocked off because of intel from the police.
Yeah.
So that's when you're saying if they actually invested in safety, they're not. They don't care. So when they're a couple of years ago, they closed off, they shut off all the bands, no matter where you was. Can't remember what year it was, but no matter where you was in Carnival, you had to just stop playing music. But they blocked off every side road on Ladbroke Grove. So you've got thousands of people.
And they just like, go
and
so,
there's over
or
there
so,
or there. But
or
those
so.
people...
Harrow Road or Holland
Right.
Park.
Now, people, if you study history, kettling is one way to start a riot.
Yeah.
Kettle people in is the best way to start a riot, because people just get easily frustrated and just start acting out with the people around them. Now, how are you going to say for safety you're doing all of this and then come and minister to the people and tell them, well, safety is not my officer's business? And we hear these things. There was a lot of people there who heard him say this.
Yeah.
And we
I
are sitting down.
I remember that happened.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the meeting. I was meant to go to the meeting, but I didn't go to the meeting. And then I just got messages. This police chief saying this and people cussing him left, right, and center. You understand? Because obviously that wouldn't. Imagine a police chief is saying that in a room full of, you would think, level-headed people, and they start losing their mind. What do you think is going to happen when it is just somebody who's not really trained goes out there and you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of people?
Yeah.
This is the problem, and I want to say this, and if people take this as disrespect, I'll just say it go. Yeah? When we're sitting down arguing and people who I refer to as carnival dance bats are
that was a bit
discussing about Afrobeats and dancehall on the road and talking about carnival tradition, there's other parts of our tradition that they don't care about. Now, these are the discussions that we should be having. Why is this not happening at Carnival? How deep do you want to go into Carnival? When's the last time you see a Moko Jumbi at Carnival?
I literally was about to say that is one of the main things. You don't see Moko Jumbis on the road at all for
Traditional
Carnival.
mass is not being played at Carnival.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah?
Yeah.
There was a video Notting Hill with a man, a lady winding up. The man's gone behind her and literally eating out her rear end on the road. That video went viral.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, make people do their thing. You people are so judgmental. Some of these same people that are cussing about Afrobeats. So what aspects of culture do we really want to... If we want to have a culture discussion, let's have a culture discussion. Let's talk about what was taking place when Carnival was in the hands of the community and how our people felt safe. Now it's in the hands of the authorities and the police, and our people don't feel safe. That's the discussion we should be having.
Yeah.
Because from as long as I've been in Carnival, bro,
yeah.
I'd correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know about Trinidad, because you was in Trinidad them time, but as long as I've been in Notting Hill Carnival, Sweet Mother, always play. Easy Dancing, always play.
Yeah.
What's the next one? My Sweetie, My Sugar, always play. Yeah, when Premier Gower came out early 2000, that was played.
Yeah.
These songs always played, and nobody had a problem with it. Because Notting Hill Carnival, if we study it from its inception, was always about bringing black people who had a shared experience in the UK together. So if you look at the Ghanaian community, it was heavily influential in Carnival from its inception. The Bayesian community, the Jamaican community, they all came together to create, over a period of time, what we now know today as Notting Hill Carnival. And it was unity. And now, all I'm seeing online is division. Cussing about this, cussing about this.
Well, because
That's
Okay, let me.
societal,
I will say this, right? There's division in everything.
I said that's
You
society.
can't
Like,
run from it.
unfortunately.
You can't hide from it.
No.
And it's just for you whether it is you want to entertain it,
Engage in it or not.
engage in it or not. Unfortunately, when it is we talking about music and culture, it always turns into a callaloo. You understand me? And it depends on how it is you want to season your callaloo. If you want to use a Swiss stick and put everything together, or you want to just have your callaloo with the main ingredients. Yeah, you're thinking about the oil, right? Or you want to have your main ingredients. I'm talking about in food-wise, but the same terminology applies. If it is we know that for us what carnival truly represents, and it's a depiction of our culture and the essence of it, there is no argument to be had.
No.
Zero.
No.
You understand me? But the problem is that everybody has this feeling that what I have is a part of my culture and it should be represented, which is also fine. But there's also a time and a place. And if something is so long-standing and it represents something so significant, why would you feel it's okay to dissect it?
Yes.
Why? What would the only thing that would do is create division, discourse, disgruntled people angry and upset. Because you can listen to whatever you want on your Spotify.
Yeah, it's a
But
personal
once
choice.
it is you touch on the road and it's called carnival,
it's different.
leave it for we, please.
Can I say this? Yeah, there's never ever been soca music has never been in jeopardy of being removed from the road at carnival. Never. Yeah. Back in there, you had like bigger fish that was like for young people used to come and just listen whatever they want to listen to. You always had them bands on the road, but mass band have always played the majority soca.
Yeah.
There has never been a fear of soca being removed from the road.
Yeah.
So to me, there's no reason why 5 Afrobeats and 10 dancehall should create such.
It does.
Well,
it
I
does.
hear you.
It
but
does now.
I hear
It
you.
does
but
now.
It does now.
I'm on the fence with this, and you know me because I said I am happy for certain Afrobeats to be played on the road. I've said this before. You know me, the Lucian side of me, the French African side that is very heavily intertwined in a lot of Caribbean countries like history. However, some of the bands that are on the road and the songs that they choose to play don't belong there. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
I don't care.
agree.
But you say Afrobeats, but when people are playing Afrobeats, then they're going to Burna Boy. They're not picking out the songs you want to play. They're picking out the current trending Afrobeat songs, which completely change the energy on the road that have no place being on the road.
That's a different argument. What I'm seeing is carnival is about Caribbean culture. Why we got these Africans trying to bring this? Like, no. Let's have if to this, because Martin J on this same sofa said something extremely, and it made me think. He said, the Afrobeats we're hearing today is not the African sound of music.
No, it's not.
It's a very R&B sound of music with
it's-
African singers on it.
Yeah.
And it dawned
And
on
he
me,
said
I
it's not
okay.
Afrobeats.
So that's a discussion that we can have.
No, I hear you.
What I'm saying is, to me, people are putting their hatred for Africa and
I wouldn't
to a
say-
lesser extent Jamaica and channeling and using carnival
I wouldn't say
as
it's a
their vehicle
hatred.
to channel that hate.
I wouldn't say it's a hatred because I wouldn't say it's a hatred. What I would say is that we don't have many spaces that we can call our own. So when we have our space, give it to us. That's it. There's other places where if you want to hear that type of music,
I wouldn't say give it to us, Annie. I would say respect
But no,
our space.
I
give
would
it to
agree
us. Yeah, but
Rory.
sorry, Mr. Rory.
I think it's just my 2 pence. I think where Notting Hill is unique, and once again, this is more of a slightly more umbrella viewpoint, right? So as I observe Notting Hill and I observe St. Lucia Carnival and Trinidad Carnival and Miami Carnival and all these carnivals around the world, the very big difference with Notting Hill versus most other carnivals is the sheer volume of bands that we have,
Of
right?
course, yes. Yeah.
So with the volume of bands, what we don't have in equal measure is the same volume of, I'm just going to politely call them educated DJs who understand what playing on the road means.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, one of the reasons why I have been like reluctant about bringing my daughter to Carnival on Children's Day is because you've got some DJs who will choose to play dancehall music, who don't know how. There is a way, and this is obviously a slightly different viewpoint, but to blanket call it dancehall or blanket call it Afro beats, there's a way in which you can play these types of music which generates a type of energy in the crowd, right?
Yep.
And
Agree.
I've been a DJ, so I understand the difference between I'm playing for crowd reaction versus I'm playing for the sense of the occasion, i.e. there's a difference between playing in a club and I'm playing for a christening. When people are eating food.
Not many people know that difference there. I think
right? So there's a difference in how I'm going to play. I could be playing the same genre of music. So one of the biggest problems, which is why unfortunately I would say it probably the freedom got taken away, and this is my viewpoint, is the majority of DJs, the majority, not everyone, the majority of DJs, when they go on the road, and I understand because I've been there is this adrenaline rush you get when you're on a truck and you see all these people and you lose your mind. And you suddenly...
Being real polite.
You're
being real polite at the door. You're being real polite at the door.
This is probably, for most of these people, the only opportunity you're ever going to have to play in front of this many people in one go, for a lot of these DJs. Not for all, but for a lot of these DJs. So what then happens is once they lose their mind, they're like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can do in this moment to get the biggest crowd reaction I can get.
Correct.
So whether I choose, when I'm going into my dancehall bag, I'm gonna go and try and forget the health and safety of this crowd. I'm gonna pull out the tune that's gonna have the crowd doing the most. Now, I've seen it, I've been in it, and unfortunately, I've seen it more than I haven't seen it. So there's no real, and that's nobody's fault necessarily. And I don't know whose responsibility it is. I do think the bands and the band leaders probably have the responsibility to be like, listen, Mr. DJ, it's Kids Day on Sunday. So if you are going to go into the dancehall bag, think about the lyrics of the song, not just whether they're swearing or not, but think about, lyrics, is this appropriate for kids to be jumping? And that's
it's not even the kids, Rory. Sorry to cut you.
I said it's just a public space for me. I think
when it is you're playing for the kids, but it's within the public domain, and the public is hearing that, they naturally will be drawn to that, and then overshadows the experience of the kids. So now the kids are no longer the mainstay. They're the main attraction. They're not the focus anymore.
But then again, okay, so if you have a DJ, they decide to go into like their dancehall playlist, and they were told not to. What's the punishment?
Say, can you unplug them?
No, unplug them immediately.
Are we being rude? Just
the music, it doesn't happen. Or it happens too slowly.
It has happened.
But I can only go on my viewpoint in that. That's what, like, one of the reasons why bands will pay very reasonable money to fly guys in who play in carnivals week in, week out to come and play is because one thing they have is experience.
I was going to ask, is that the issue, that you have certain DJs that maybe have, like, I don't know, club experience, fete experience, but they don't know how to play on the road? I literally
watched the DJ on a Monday behind one of the trucks, and he was up on and I watched him just lose his mind. Like, because he didn't know. Just possessed, like, this is no Carnival. Like, he lost his mind. I was like, like, he lost his mind.
Can I ask you a question then? Given that narrative that you just pushed in, why is it that those same people who are making the argument, we can say adult words or no?
I don't know what was if you're gonna swear, try and not keep it.
So we try to be respectful.
Yeah, try to be respectful.
But I'm gonna say the song lyrics then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
okay. Those people who will complain about dancehall lyrics are quite happy on Sunday or Monday to listen to "Put Your Hand in Your Pussy" and put it in my mouth.
No, it's not. It's not okay,
bro. You're saying that. I'm saying some of the people who I'm hearing make that argument. They're perfectly okay with that playing. And this is why I'm saying it's a deeper issue than just the music. Because I'll tell you the truth, bro. Some of the same soca DJs, big name soca DJs, some of those are the main culprits of playing not only dancehall but the raw versions. I've seen trucks going past and heard it. Bro, only because certain man of my brethren, I've got videos, because every time I go carnival, then buses, trucks are going past where Heritage set up. And when they're going past, I always film them. And I've got videos, bro, of big soca DJs over the years playing raw dancehall versions on Kenzo Rise. And I'm saying, rah. But then people will go and cuss other bands. Now, I've got a friend of mine, two sisters, yeah? The particular band that they go with, they're very vocal about what should be playing and what shouldn't be playing in Carnival, yeah? And I'm saying, but all the years that you've been going Carnival, you never brought your kids to Carnival. You've got something against Jamaica Twist now, but your kids are not even Jamaican, and they're going Carnival with Jamaica Twist because that's where their friends are going. And what I'm saying is, we've neglected our children and to bring them into our culture. And when they get older and now they want to go to Carnival to do their own thing, we're saying, well, the kids this and the kids that. Like, most of us didn't integrate our children into Carnival. You had bands this year saying it's over 21s on both days. But then they want to discuss Carnival culture. And then the antics and the behavior on the road is what they would have classed as dancehall behavior back in the day. I can tell you what I go on now. What's happening in a soca fete is 10 times worse than anything happening in dancehall. But it's okay.
It's nasty business.
Because the rhythm is nice. It's calypso and soca, so it's okay. And this is what I'm saying. If we're going to have a culture discussion, let's have an honest culture discussion.
Agreed.
If we're going to have a tradition discussion, let's have an honest tradition discussion. That's all I'm saying. But I have no issue going and listen to 100% soca at Carnival. But I'm always going to argue a point if I think it's for the wrong reasons.
I hear you. So, Anthony, for you, right? Your scope is a little bit different. Within, you go to fetes, you go to Carnival, and your business model is one where you want to be able to promote fetes, you want to be able to promote Carnival bands if you can. You want to promote anything within the culture. Do you find it difficult approaching promotions, approaching people to come on board with Goodmuse?
I think there's two answers there I can give. So we are for all genres. So whether it's dancehall, whether it's soca, whether it's a Amapiano, whether it's Afrobeat, that's fine. Carnival, if you're on the road, I say it should be all soca. That's just me. If you want to have a sound system that plays Amapiano or Afrobeats, there's Lagos Corner. My good friend Jide, he runs that. Was part of that's set up. If you want to go to Rampage, you want to be hearing like dancehall and R&B. You know, if you want to do that one as a sound system, that's cool. But on the road,
Soca.
Yeah. So that's one part. So in terms of like me, okay, when you asked about approaching other DJs, how difficult it is. Yes, it is challenging because, you know, a lot of DJs and promoters and venues, the first go-to place is Eventbrite. I know there's been like a massive shift with regards to the way how Eventbrite are charging now.
Yep.
Which is something that we don't charge you to list your event on Goodmuse at all. But you know, obviously it's education. So we have like a loads of DJs and promoters have signed up with us. You're one of the first people to sign up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. No problem.
But again, it's as a startup and as a black startup, particularly in the UK, it's challenging, but we're up for it.
I agree. So guys, check out Goodmuse, like for real.
Promoters,
you know,
please.
Check it out. Promoters, anybody affiliated.
You signed up as a DJ. What does that entail?
No, meaning we signed up as like with Just Vibes. I would put stuff on their on Goodmuse, and people can, once these people go onto the app, they will see what events are on. And it'll be on the
So basically, like if you want to go out and you don't know what's happening, you don't know, okay, let me ask you a question. So, silly question, what sort of music are you into?
Bit of Spice Girls, bit of All Saints.
So ridiculous.
All right. Okay.
Maroon
so
5, good stuff.
Okay. Fine. All right. So if you want to go out and hear that type of music, where would you go? How would you find out what's playing?
Capital. Heart.
One extra.
Capital, yeah.
One extra.
Big plus. Yeah, we'll go one extra. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay, interesting. So the way how we work is that you can go onto the app and you can create your own playlist of what you want to hear, right? And it doesn't matter what genre it is. If you want to listen to Spice Girls and that kind of stuff, you know, you can create a playlist, all of that, and you press search.
Okay.
And if we have DJs with those songs on their playlist that registered with us, we'll then tell you where they're playing at local to where you are.
I like that.
You like that, right?
I like
So
that.
it's
That's
thank
I
you.
like-
So
sorry,
it's
I'd like that.
it's just a case of like all genres. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you're into. If you want to have like a night out with your missus, date night. You know, you might want to hear some Luther Vandross. You might hear some 90s slow jams. Who's playing that tonight? Who's playing at the weekend? We work alongside with Spotify, so we can tap into like their catalog and create different playlists for different occasions. You want to have a Mandem night out. You want to hear like, you know, if you're into old school hip hop like I am, and my co-founder Dave, you just put in all the old school hip hop, and then bang, someone's playing it in London or around the UK.
I love that.
So that's how it works.
Is that the first of its kind?
Yeah.
Or have you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what we found being the first of its kind, it's great, but then it's hard work at the same time because it's like, because no one really knows about it.
Yeah.
It's trying to educate
Yeah.
and trying to push it out there.
Yeah.
And because like we're 100% funded, like self-funded, we're working all the time. Like, you know, I've got my 9 to 5. Dave's got his 9 to 5. Come home, then it's like you're working till like 6 to 1 a.m. every day, even at the weekends, and it's just a constant grind. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So,
You know?
No, I like that.
yeah.
So the concept, like, so for someone who you would understand it from a DJ perspective, you would understand it from your online perspective, but for like someone
Explain it to me.
who just
You
like
know,
somebody like Annie,
Someone
you
like
know,
me.
who she just
I just want
did.
vibes.
She just did. She have a little bit of alcohol already,
Yeah.
and she listening to Changes, Tupac or whatever, right?
Okay.
And she's like, you know, I feel like we should go out all day. We feel we should go out.
That's not
I
how.
want we to go
You
out.
said a
You know,
little bit
hold
of
on, let me do
alcohol.
it properly. Hold on.
Yeah.
Girls, I feel we should go out. You understand? And they decide, let me look for something like we like this. So tell them what it is they'll do. Like basically just go Changes Tupac, go into Goodmuse, Changes Tupac.
That's it.
Right? Just type in that comes up and it'll say, oh, you have Mayfair has this event going on, or you have an event going on in Ministry of Sound, you have an event going on, you know,
That's
right
it.
in Edmonton. You understand?
I love the concept.
Around the corner from you. And that's how simple it is.
That's it. That's it. You just, to give it like a better opportunity for the system to work out who's playing what, just put in like 3 or 4 songs
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then create your that's your playlist. Name it whatever you want. You can name it like Girls Night Out, 90s hip hop. Bang.
Done.
So can anybody make a playlist on there, or it's just specific to DJs or?
Anybody.
So I can make my playlist up.
Yeah.
You as
there
an
and say,
individual.
I
Even-
just want to
even-
hear Soca all night. Grenadian Soca specifically.
Yeah, even that.
And then
Even if like, okay, so last year? What's the beginning? No, I think beginning of the year. Dave, he came across this other website, one of our competitors, and they were having like a night, an old school hip hop night, right? And it was like 3 before 11. So I said, all right, you know what? It sounds good, yeah, because like, we're both old school hip hop heads, right? So we got the tickets now. Went down to the venue down in Vauxhall. And what did they play? They played rubbish. They were playing like Missy Elliott, Okay, no, sorry. I shouldn't say rubbish because Missy Elliott.
No rubbish.
It's
but
not
she's
rubbish,
not.
right?
She's got some Missy fans that might have a word to say about that.
I would have.
I'm gonna clip that.
I would have
He
Missy
said
Elliott's
Missy
babies
Elliott's
on there. I
rubbish.
would have she children.
Right.
What?
I would have Missy Elliott children. What?
So I just- I
GT.
She has changed over the. She has improved.
Yeah, not Slim
Yeah.
Missy.
What?
Big fat Missy maybe, but
GT.
not Slim Missy. We
You
don't like
can't
Slim.
say
We don't-
that.
We don't like Slim
We
Missy.
like all sizes
No,
here.
we don't
How
like
you
Slim.
mean?
No, we like all sizes, but not Slim Missy. I don't like Slim Missy. Like Big
Yeah,
Missy.
you're like,
Yeah.
But Missy Elliott was
All
not
in
what
my
you was
grill,
looking
Missy.
for.
Yeah.
It's-
So we were looking for like Nas. We were
Yeah.
looking for like Biggie, like
Yeah.
you know,
yeah,
like
give me
first
first.
album,
Yeah.
right?
Not-
We're
if you
looking
weren't-
for like
if you
Eric B.
weren't-
Rakim.
yeah.
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 That sort of old school. No, they were playing like I can't remember like what they were playing exactly, but it was just
You're playing naughties.
it was just like
They were
not
playing
like a
noughties.
naughties R&B.
Like commercial type
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
commercial naughties. They were playing
R&B
naughties.
hip hop
Playing
type
like
of stuff.
some
Yeah, they were
like
playing
some like
naughties.
Jay-Z remix and
Yeah, naughties.
yeah, all
They were
that
playing
kind of
naughties.
stuff. And we stayed there for
Eminem.
an hour. Yeah.
You're playing
We stayed for
naughties.
about an hour, and I just said, "Listen, I can't do it anymore, man. I need to go."
But that's when the party probably started. Did that to get you all upset?
Nah,
Can
nah.
I ask, is there a does the website have like a rating thing? Simply based on what you just said, because I find most events promoted as old school or 90s, they're crap because they don't actually play
Right.
old schools and 90s.
And
You
this
might,
is something that we've recognised. So what we do, you tell it what songs you want to hear. Yes, you have a choice. You can either pick by genre, or you can
Oh, I
pick
see.
by specific songs. So it will give you like a percentage match. So if you say like, okay, you want to hear X, Y, and Z, and then there's another teacher now that's playing X, Y, and Z, and A, it was to say, okay, there is a 70% match. So then it's up to you to decide whether
Yeah.
you're gonna go for that.
Yeah.
And if you decide to go, you can you buy your tickets there. It'll show up on the map how far you're away from the venue. Whether it will tell you whether you can wear trainers. It'll tell you like can you wear like
Wherever,
Yeah,
the
just
dress code and
wear-
everything.
whatever.
Yeah.
We try and give you like as much information as we can.
Make an
that's
informed
practical.
decision.
Yeah, and then you could decide, okay, I can go here, then it's close to this other spot I can go to after, and it's just there on your phone. It's just there.
this is
shows
very
you.
interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't want to take over your job, but I just have one more question about
It's
it. 'cause
you.
I
So
find
it's, we expected.
no,
it.
but I just find it's very interesting. I've like this is regarding Carnival now.
Yeah.
People who you got people like Annie who know what band she wants to go to, and there are some people they've never played mass before, and they say, you know what, next year,
The Playmas right here.
I know.
The Playmas right here.
Yeah.
That's Playmas right there.
You-
yeah. So no, but I'm saying in the sense of his, I know what you. I get.
I was waiting for the penny to drop. The Denros.
You till the iron rolling yet, brother. You till the iron reach yet.
I'm not drinking. I just had another sip. I'm there now. I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, like somebody say, like, cool, I need a band for next year. So, do you already, or are you looking to do a thing where mass bands can say, well, listen, this is our kind of playlist. This is what we do on the road. So a person can say, you know what, I need a band
That
that
is
play
interesting.
majority
Yeah.
That's
jam.
interesting.
Yeah.
And to
So
say,
like for
listen,
example, Isle Mass, you know, if you're going
Yeah.
Isle Mass,
Or a
it's
band that's this is a band for
yeah.
the mature crowd. So you're gonna have
Majority,
a calypso place. And I want to go somewhere that's over 40s, and they can.
That's interesting. So for this year and last year, what we've done, we've actually got like a sound system guide.
Okay.
So we've listed all the sound systems and we've listed all the like the type of music that they'll be playing. So basically, people who don't want to go in a band and they want to go from sound system to sound system, and they don't know where they are, they could just look on Goodmuse and find out who's playing what. Because we found that there's did you know there's a Latina sound system,
Mhm.
right? You got one there.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a jazz one as well.
Mm.
You know, it plays like they play like Northern Soul.
Mm.
I forgot the name of it. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. But it's all these different types of music here that are actually happening on sound systems. So, but what you've just suggested, that's quite interesting. So
That's why both of you are sat on the same chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Because it will
okay.
work. That's exactly why
Okay.
I made sure I could have had you on
Yeah.
at any point in time. I could have had Rory
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
but I knew it would work if both of you all were on, because it could interchange very easily in terms of if it is, he knows everything to do about mass bands, right? And he will know what, if it's Island Mass or if it's M2K Mass, whatever band it is, you know, he will know somebody DJs affiliated to it. And then he will also know what type of, what range of music that these DJs play. And then that way you can curate your website based on that way to support it both ways. And then it will highlight the mass band in that direction. You understand? So that's what. Sorry, watch me. I ain't even drinking alcohol, and I have my third eye on, brother. My third eye is there.
Look,
You
imagine what alcohol would do for it.
Nah, I good. I real good. I real good. I go be swinging on vine and all kind of things. Catch me.
So in terms of Playmas, I would say, I'm sure I knew of it last year, but I'd say this year, every single band across every single carnival, I think I have like 8 or 9, maybe 10, 11 Playmas registrations for different bands. How has that kind of has that changed your experience for carnival now, being so heavily involved with the registration for mass bands, and how that is kind of like set up?
I guess I've always been I've been behind the scenes for a while. And I've done different
in the same
things.
Same way or
like
different?
I said, when I first started, like
DJ.
my first thing in carnival was DJing. So that's a very unique viewpoint, you know, how to DJ. And back then it was, I was DJing with M2K, and it was how to hold a truck for 8 hours non-stop. Like come off the truck, can't even walk. Like 8 hours just like this for 8 hours non-stop, right? Which is an experience in itself. They don't really do that anymore. Like most trucks have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like you're never gonna be DJing for that long. But back then it was, you had your own truck for the whole day, and that was you.
So I want you to continue what you was just saying, but on that point, do you think that gives the masqueraders a different experience where you have one DJ holding it down versus a rotation of DJs?
It would definitely, because then I'm not I know that I'm here for a time, so I'm not trying to quickly dead all my hits quickly. And you know, I'll be happy. I'm comfortable playing an old school 45 minutes, whereas here they've only got 45 minutes, and they want to make a name for themselves. So they know that if they come and play 45 minutes of old school soca, they might not get. They could get the forward, but then no one's really gonna win and take that risk.
I don't care.
The unique thing about Notting Hill Carnival versus other carnivals is that if you go to Trinidad and you are a DJ, you have to pretty much play this year's soca, and that's all you're gonna have to play. Yeah, if you go to St. Lucia, same thing you would have experienced, right? But in Notting Hill Carnival, which is, I guess, my biggest frustration as an ex-DJ and listening to what's going on, it's like, no, but come on, guys. You have got the entirety of music. Like, the entire... You can play whatever. Like, you have complete free reign to all soca of all generations.
Of all islands as well.
This is what you decide to play.
The only issue is some of them don't have internet access, so they can't find a song on
Maybe,
Tidal.
I don't know. Like, I just think...
Maybe it's a case of like people not... Sorry to cut you.
No.
Maybe it's a case of like the DJs are not, I don't know, reading the crowd properly. Like for example,
I think you're being
They're being generous, eh?
They don't care. They are not reading crowd. Period. And you know why? Half I know that's happening, because some of the trucks are built terribly from a DJ perspective.
Yeah.
So you see a DJ who can't even see his audience. So I know he ain't reading no crowd because he can't see them.
Yeah.
He's behind two drapes deep in the middle of the truck. He can't see what's going on. He has no idea whether there's 100,000
The mic man had to hang off his truck here. Right. You understand me? Hanging off his truck here.
No, the reason I say that is because like, I remember one year I was in Trinidad, right? And it was on the avenue. And we were just there like jamming, you know, outside one bar. I can't remember the name of the bar. Like some
Bunty, Smokey and Bunty, or Smokey and Bunty.
It's one bar. And everyone was there, and everyone was like, you know, just jamming, and you know, it was cool. And then the DJ must have realized like the crowd weren't jumping. Yeah, so you know what he did? He just stopped the music. and he put on Lord Kitchener. He played one Lord Kitchener tune. Jesus Christ, that place, it went. You know, like when you give like a massive kick up the backside. Yeah, everybody was jumping.
Of course.
And it was like it was a sweet. I can't remember the name of the song, but I know it was Lord Kitchener, and it was bad. Even like the police officers there, they were like, like in Trinity Police here, they're like very stern and serious. They were like, proper, and it was just like, it was such a vibe.
It could be Give Me the Thing, by Lord Kitchener. It could be Pan A minor, or it could be Bees Melody. Those three songs evoke, like those three songs, they evoke such a telling emotion within our community, because Pan has a major part to play, especially in Trinidad, I would say. Once you hear a song with a little bit of pan in there, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
My pause started raised.
That's how it was with everybody on the avenue that night. It was like,
and Kitchener, and sorry, fun fact about Kitchener: every single song that the Lord Kitchener has composed, you can play on pan.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what they call him, the Lord Kitchener. Every single song that he has, you could play it on pan.
Yeah, it was just, so I just like, okay, you said like, they ain't reading the crowd. I just think they need to learn to read the crowd and play.
It's reading the crowd, and it's also doing your research. Because I think it's reading the crowd and doing your research on.
I think it's more than that. I think there's nobody, unfortunately, if I'm a DJ, like if tomorrow I wake up and I say I would like to become a DJ, particularly playing at Notting Hill Carnival, there isn't like who's paying it forward to really give these, because I do think there's an education that comes. Like there's like going to Carnival and actually sitting and observing and learning process that you should have to go through before you're allowed to go on the road, because but many people won't ever go through that process.
Getting passes too easy.
Yeah, no, but there isn't that process. There isn't that kind of thing. Yeah. So you're just allowed to just go, and for the most part, just the problem be free.
Again, and you said it. You actually answered the question in the first thing that you said. When you've got a number of DJs on a band, it creates that problem. And again, I'm not even going to talk about the younger, more unknown DJs who are running down. I'm talking about the seasoned, veteran soca DJs who play at soca events week in, week out, and who should know better. Now, here's the problem. You got 3, 4, 5 of them playing on the same track. But at different times. So it's going to sound complicated, but it's quite simple. One man's playing on this track, this man's playing on this track. Like you said, what do they want to do? Show the road, innit? So they're going to play all the big songs to show the road. He leaves from that track and goes over to this track. What does he do? Play the same song that this man just played. He went on the track when the man just played it, but he now come to Shell because he's got somewhere else to go. That man left this track to go play the same set that this man played on this track. Because he has to every track he goes to, he has to. So I have to now show 4 tracks, and I'm going to play the same set of songs on the 4 tracks. Here's the next issue now. That 2 things. One, a lot of these people who are behind the tracks weren't listening to soca like that 20 years ago. So if I'm going to say, all right, one of my favorite songs from back then, Burning Flames, Pappy. If I go and play that on the road now, there's a chance that a lot of people don't even know it. And next thing is, 20 years ago, a lot of people weren't even listening to soca from other islands other than where they're from. So now the thing has got a bit more, rounded. Where now, again, since Lynx FM fell off the road, people are listening to soca from other islands now. But 20 years ago, then maybe they wasn't. So now you might say, you know what, I need to play this song from St. Kitts. Half the people may not know it. Now a DJ's fear is, I play this song and the place ain't going to jump. Rather than saying, you know what, the song bad. And if I play this song, I'm going to give it the energy that it needs for the people to react. Our job as DJs, it is not for the crowd to dictate to us what to play. Our job is to educate the crowd on what it is. So that Lord Kitchener there, that will never happen in this country.
No.
It's not happening.
And I find that, and it's interesting what you just said there, because I find that, like, just moving away from soca slightly, I find a lot of times when I go out, it's the same. It's the same. It's like
the same problem.
DJs want to just play it safe, and there's so much good music coming out all the time. You're like, well, why am I not hearing like these new artists, you're just playing the same old thing, and you're like, oh God, it's same songs I was hearing when I was 16.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
be bold, just step off, just step out, just say like, you know what? No, there's a new soca artist coming out here from Barbados, whatever. As you said, give it energy, play it.
Let me say this.
The thing is, obviously, you know, DJing is one thing. You know, mic men are a different thing.
Yeah.
And I can only say my one pet peeve is the belief that the only way to get crowd reactions is by doing country road calls. I can't.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the amount of times is like, is that
Where
the
you
only
from?
thing we have to say, people, is to say what island you're from or what country you're from. Like, it tells me, it doesn't necessarily speak to inexperience, but I just think there's more to micing, and you know, the really, really good mic men, particularly in soca, don't really have to rely or lean on that too hard to be able to get interaction with the crowd, you know?
Just interact with you just have to interact with the crowd. You see somebody left hand side of the truck getting a little wassy, you turn to the right hand side of the truck and say, hey, all you see the left hand side of the truck behaving now.
There you go.
What wrong with all you? Or they can't match their energy.
There you go.
It's literally what is being unfolded in front of you. You create a story and you share that story with them. You share that story and then you also input a part of the story that you want to see happen, and that is all it is.
Yeah.
That's for me. But that's just for me personally. But I don't really be in carnival to be emceeing on trucks much anymore. You understand me? I don't even DJ that much on the road anymore because I have.
Chef, I heard.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Okay, sir.
Leave it alone. You know, I take on other responsibilities.
Sure.
You understand me? But I'll say this honestly, from a DJ perspective, and I was so grateful that I had the opportunity to work with Martin J. You understand, and understand the ins and outs of carnival from a music perspective and just the road perspective. That wealth of understanding and knowledge is so valuable, you know. And if anybody could tap into Martin J with that, I 100%. Yeah, 100%. You know, in terms of the music, like Rory was saying before, and Natural Music was saying before, and he said 45 minutes of an old school set. I would tell you this, right? And if you want to be a smart DJ and you want to really take your craft and earn from it, you go up there, you play the music that you enjoy playing, no matter who's there, because I guarantee you, if you get 5 people that see or listen to your set and they're happy with your set, they're going to call you and book you. And they will book you every single time.
Oh, 100%.
Because you're showing the true
100%.
essence of who you are. And if it is, you know, you're struggling to get 1 booking, but then you have 5 bookings, I'm telling you, them same 5 people will tell 5 more people. Then you'll have 10 bookings.
And then bookings is more money.
And I would watch my, and that's the most important part. You're not fighting down £100. They will come to you and say, hey, I need music for a wedding, I need music for a christening. You understand me? I know you just play soca, but I'm pretty sure you're confident you can play wherever. What's your budget to play for this? And you don't have to worry about playing 45 minutes. You could play for 4 and 5 hours and show your full scale of as you as a DJ, and you know, show your range. And I just try to say that to some younger DJs. Like, some DJs will come and talk to me like, yo, but how it is you could get yourself booking all the time? I said, listen, home in on your craft, understand the music that you're playing, and make sure the process that you have is an extension of you. Not what you think you should be playing based on, oh, these other big DJs be playing this and they're playing it for 30 seconds. Play the music. Because the people who really treasure you playing the music, they will respect it, respect you, and you will be rewarded for it. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, but I take it from me. You will be rewarded for it.
Agreed.
You understand?
No,
you will
I
be.
agree with that.
So I'm coming back to Rory now, because I did do a slight digression, because you did say you started off as a DJ.
Sorry,
You didn't even get into whatever else you do behind the scene, but we went around the whole musical. So yeah, back to Playmas, and how has that changed? I said your
perspective.
Yeah.
And that's just because a lot of people don't understand the business side of carnival
at all.
right?
Yeah.
well, I say
Respectfully,
most
you don't.
most people,
Yeah.
you know,
They only
that I've
understand
seen-
what come out of their account.
they
And
only
that's
say
it.
what's
That's
coming
it.
on account. So, you know, to be so heavily involved at a global level in terms of the genuine economy of Carnival is a blessing in terms of, like, there's a lot of moments I go, okay, nah, this makes sense now, you know. So seeing, you know, what some of these bands shell out to have all of their costumes made, and seeing what's really going on, you know, what bands are spending money on, and what bands are of course making, and how, you know, how few of them actually make a profit. Surprisingly,
I was about to ask you that.
it definitely has opened my eyes up. So I think, and you see it in every carnival, you know, though there are people who only know that carnival, right? So you have some people, you know, from Notting Hill who only understand Notting Hill and will talk about Notting Hill like it's the, you know,
Like it's the Mecca.
you know, in their world, it's this huge,
It's everything.
massive thing. And obviously for me, it's like a dot on the map, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just this period of time of the year.
Yeah.
It will come and it will go, and then my focus is going to move on to something else. Whereas for them,
That's it.
that
That's the
Notting
highlight
Hill
of the
conversation's been ongoing. Like my Notting Hill conversations will probably stop as of like next week, and I'm not going to talk about it again until maybe next year. Whereas for them, they're going to be intensively talking about this Notting Hill thing,
every
right?
week, not anymore, man.
Yeah,
Don't stop
which is
that,
fine.
Yeah.
But I guess I just have a more umbrella view of the world of Carnival, and understanding how each carnival kind of plays its part in the kind of global economy. You said that you've got 9 accounts, which means you've got enough money. Big up your chest. Which is cool. She said she got 9 Playmas accounts. She said she got 9 costumes. Yeah, I say that. It went over your head. She said she purchased 9 costumes.
I heard
You
it.
heard it. 9 costumes.
Wow.
Enough money. Big up your chest.
Annie, so I asked you for the £5 the other day.
Don't come on this podcast and lie.
Way boy.
She said no.
We're not doing that here.
Boy.
This is the truthful
Way
platform.
boy. Wow. Carry on, Rory. I will deal with that later. People. People.
So the biggest, you know, in terms of us as a platform, you know, the biggest piece of feedback we get are from people like Annie, who have lots of money to spend and complain that they have to have lots of different accounts.
Oh, that is
every
my
band.
biggest pet peeve. I can't lie to you.
They what?
It's my biggest
They
pet
have to have an
for
account.
for each
for
mass
every
band,
band
you have to have a
at the moment.
Yeah.
And like for even some of the bands, if I wanted to see the price, I have to create an account. I just want to see how much it's going to cost before I decide whether I just want one account.
So they create an account just to Mako.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Mako account.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the biggest piece of feedback, which, you know, I'm okay with that being, if that's the biggest problem people have,
That's not really a problem.
you know, it's, you know, I understand it's an irritation, but, you know, that I'm not going to lose sleep over that, and that's fine. And obviously we want to rectify it, and we want to make it so it is a more seamless experience for
Because, Rory, sorry, people just want to make a spreadsheet. You understand me? Of what is they getting with this package? What is they getting with this package? What they getting with this package? You understand me?
As you said to people
and
last
then
time, read
they
the
want
terms and
to
conditions.
they want to just start crossing out. So give them a little chance now.
Yeah.
Give them a little blind now. Oh gosh, so you making things so hard for them.
As anybody who builds software will relate. If you had, you know, if I had a magic wand of the things that it would do tomorrow, if I literally could just go like that and unlimited money, we would do it. But unfortunately, we have to focus.
Then I guess it's their responsibility.
Yeah,
if they want the business, they gotta go and create.
Coming from an app service, I can fully appreciate what you just said there.
So you know,
because what sounds great up here,
you
think, okay, I could do it, and then you actually, you like,
how you actually
how am I going to do this? And yes, it can be done, but Lord Jesus, it's going to take a lot of money. Yeah.
No, I can accept that.
But then, I mean, I watched something with Bungie Garden today, right? And he said he does go against the grain all the time. And he say,
I saw that.
There's always, if you're telling me there's no way to do it, I will find a way.
Yeah.
Of course. Well,
So Rory,
find a way.
Find the way to make me happy, Rory.
Find a way.
The actual response is it will be done. The question is just when.
When?
It's never, you know, for anything.
But you're not
that
losing
makes
sleep
sense.
over it though.
No, I'm not.
So,
I'm not gonna lie. But you know, definitely did
lose some sleep.
So how much of a problem is this? Like,
it's not a massive problem. It's just, it is literally just an irritation. So like I've got an account with like Crave, I've got one with Zuvo, I've got one with Fusion Mass. I've got one with Just for Fun. I've got one with Island Mass. Like.
So
Yeah.
so other ladies in your social circles, do they have the same problem?
Yeah.
Do they?
Because they all in a group chat. They're all in a group chat
Oh, I
talking
see.
about it,
We was all
right?
trying to decide
They're
our
all in a group
costumes.
chat and they're all trying to figure out where in St. Lucia what band they're playing with.
Yeah.
So they will send this costume picture, that costume picture, this costume picture, and then they go all be like, so how much is this one and how much is that one? And then you'll see this whole long conversation, but with all these different prices, when Rory could just lose a little bit of sleep. You understand me?
He could actually lose a bit of sleep.
And make it
A little bit of sleep, but a lot of money.
and put the girls on
Only
them,
for
you know,
money.
let the girls them sleep easier, you know, let the girls them sleep easier because they'll be up there at 3 o'clock in the
Well, to
morning.
be fair, I will say that the app Playmas has already made it a lot easier for you to get your costume. Like,
Nice.
a lot easier. So you've helped the girlies already. So thank you.
That's good.
Yeah. She
But
saved
once
it in.
again-
She saved it.
Yeah, she saved me.
She saved it.
I mean, people, like, once again, I think in this game, and obviously you learn a lot when you're as you said, it's a startup. Once again, you're running you're running a business, and for me, this is my full-time job, right? So I don't have it's not a 9 to 5. Like, this is what I do and live and breathe every day. So it's sometimes it's just sometimes it's polite education of like running a business is not it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And it's for a lot of the times, I've planned the next 3 years of what we want to do and stuff like that, and everybody obviously in this current economy wants everything today and tomorrow, and it's just not always
possible.
No.
And I think it's kind of like you have to understand there's levels to some things, right? Like there's levels to how some people are trying to operate, and there's levels to how some of the numbers that you're used to dealing with and things like that. And you kind of just, for me, like, I don't do this thing with like any kind of ego, and like I'm very much about, when we started, we didn't have any money. We didn't have, there was even no point us even having a bank account because there's nothing coming in. Do you understand? Like, it was pointless. Like, what, should we set up a bank account? Why? Why would we reinvest it? Like, there's no money coming in. Like, why, right?
One day.
Yeah. And actually, the focus has always been, and it will continue to be, about the impact of what we do. And money has naturally just flowed from that, right?
Yeah.
But that's how
Of
it
course,
happens.
there's no business that doesn't make a profit, but well, no, there are. But it's how can we impact this thing that is really you're impacting somebody's cultural experience
100%.
of a place.
Yep.
So like for me, why I say when I go to Carnival and I experience it differently is because I'm standing there and I'm by the stage and I'm watching this person have a moment, right? And this moment is a moment that, this holiday to St. Lucia, she's probably spent all of her spare money and probably borrowed money off mum and dad to try and get it over the line to afford this costume and this backpack and this whatever. And she knows that once this day is over and she goes back to England or she goes back to America, where she's going, she's going back to stress and headaches. You understand? So while she's here, she or he is giving it 110% on that stage. And when you deep what that means to someone, like you zero in on that moment. So why we called the company Playmas, like to play mass is to have like a almost at times an out of body experience
100%.
of your culture or connection
100%.
to music,
It's a spiritual moment.
to everything that Carnival represents, right? So when you see that person, when people think about Carnival and you zero in that moment of crossing the stage and how much it means to people, and you see people crying tears, and I think, that's mad. That band just crossed the stage with 3,000 people, and every single one of their Carnival experiences would have started with them clicking through our app. Like that in my head is like,
How does that make
that's
you feel?
mad.
Yeah, that's mad.
It speaks to impact,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why like I'm super passionate
You ever
about
cry?
what I do.
You ever cry?
So what?
You ever cry about
No,
it? Like stand up on the
no,
sides
no.
of what's your shit right now? Yeah, what's your shit right now? It's because I'm me, right? No.
But it screams to, and I think why I like going to because it serves as a reminder as to why we're doing what we're doing. Like what is it that we're really trying to help to facilitate? So as much as people talk about like it's just buying a costume, it's like no, it's not just buying a costume. There's so much more that is attached to that wider cultural experience that person's gonna have. And so that's why when I come to Notting Hill, I think, okay, we as people maybe born in the UK might have a perspective, but what to that Caribbean person that lives in the Caribbean or that maybe lives in America or lives in another part of the world who comes to visit Notting Hill as a cultural experience,
what are they getting?
Yep. And a lot of people, and to be fair, I don't really hear anyone talking about that because for the most part, they're in their own viewpoint, which is as a Londoner or someone from the UK experiencing Notting Hill Carnival.
I say though, I've spoken to a lot of people who have come from the Caribbean. And I think Voice, when he was on BBC, said it best from what I've heard, that a lot of people that come from the Caribbean thoroughly enjoy Notting Hill Carnival. Because when Voice was on there, he asked him what he loves about it. He said, listen, he loves Notting Hill above most carnivals because he gets to hear all of black culture being expressed. And then he said that the first time he came to Notting Hill Carnival, he was behind the truck and he heard the DJ play Davido. If I tell you, say, and he said he saw the whole band jump up. And Shorty B said to him, oh, that's weird because there's a big discussion in this country about whether that music should even be played on the road. And he said, when you're coming from where I'm from, which is Trinidad, he said, when you go Trinidad Carnival, you hear Trinidad Soca. And sometimes people will cuss if you play soca from other islands too much. You go Dominica, you hear Booyah. You go St. Vincent, you hear... So when you go across the Caribbean, you're hearing soca from those particular islands, unless the big artists are brought over to perform. But he said in Notting Hill, it was the one place where he hears soca from every island. So all his friends that are making tune from this island, that island, he can come to Notting Hill and hear it all. So I think there's people that I've spoken to who have come over from abroad, that there was a lady I spoke to, she lives in LA. She goes to Trinidad Carnival regular. I was speaking to her and she said that's the one thing that she loved was that all the soca throughout the year ends
that's
up
the same
playing.
thing that I said as well.
Yeah, so a lot of the people from the Caribbean, that's their
Hill
experience.
is that it's after a run of carnival, so you get to hear Trinidad, Antigua, like St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenada, if the DJs have been there and play the music.
I think that they should be. I think the band should be curating the road experience in the same way that a promoter curates a fet.
They should.
So when the promoter puts together on, you know, Giz, when you go there, a promoter says, right, boom, my fet is or my party or whatever is from 10 till 4, right, boom, I'm booking this DJ from 10 till 11, you must play old school R&B. From 11 till 12, you must play, let's just say 2000s. From 12 till 1, you might play old school bashment. From 1 to 2, you're going to play hip hop and whatever. And the big set at 3 till 4, you're going to play all of the new bangers, and you are very explicit about how you curate that musical experience.
I was going to ask whether trucks do that, because I've had that discussion as well, because I've had certain DJs on here that have said, you can't tell me what to play. And I was like, me as a promoter, I will tell you what you're playing in my fit.
There may well be some trucks that do it.
I will argue that point.
I'm telling you what to play.
I will argue that point. And the reason I argue that point, because on the road experience, there's so many other external factors, right? If the weather is a bit crazy, if it is half the band isn't still present and behind the truck at 12 o'clock, you understand the speed in which the truck is moving, right, on the road. All those things factor in. So if it is you tell a DJ you're only gonna play power soca, or you could play your BPM is 125 to 135. Where's BPM?
Beats per minute.
Jeez, all right, good. She's in the game now. She's in the game now.
Having secret DJ lessons or something.
So,
was that like some insider job?
No. Like a few episodes ago, she didn't know about this at the beginning of the year.
I didn't. Don't.
At the beginning of the year.
What BPM was. I just didn't know what the sweet spot was.
Jermaine, we have it.
We have
it. It was when Gel was here, right?
Exactly.
It was when Gel was here.
I knew what it was. I just didn't know what the sweet spot was, which was what.
Yeah, she didn't know. I done.
I can't remember.
I done. I'm done. I'm done. She didn't know she homework.
But anyway.
You know, but it's difficult
25, I think.
for a DJ to come up on a truck and the DJ that was playing before him and a lot of DJs would stand up there for about 10 minutes and kind of get a feel of what it is needed on the road at that point in time. You understand? So as well as it'd be great to curate what a DJ should play in terms of what speed they should be playing at this time or whatever, it's very difficult to maintain that based on when the truck is on the road, where the truck is on the road, if the truck is turning.
Can I ask you a question then? Based on that, is there someone on the truck that is in charge of the DJ?
The band leader is usually the person, or the main
DJ,
or the main DJ.
So for example, say Carnival just gone. I'm a DJ. You told me to play Power Soca, and it's pouring down with rain, and
I playing Power Soca. It pouring out with rain. Watch me. Everybody's energy got to stay up for as long as possible.
Okay, fine. Let me do the opposite.
So you can stay warm.
Fine. Let me do the opposite. You told me to play groovy, and it's pouring down with rain, and everyone's miserable.
It had to be crossfire.
Is there someone to come and tell you, okay, I know we told you to play this, but now we want you to play this?
No, but this is what I'm saying. This is what a DJ is supposed to.
Yeah, this is where
based on what you're saying, yeah. I get what you're saying about the timetable thing, but this is how I view Carnival, and people may disagree. Carnival is about freedom. It's one place where you feel free. Your energy, your spirit is, like you said, certain tune that you hear when you hear the pun. When I hear Kes falling, my mind goes. When I hear the voice, Long Live Soca, my mind goes. So that freedom that I feel in Carnival, I've never been in a position where somebody said to me, play this time but play groovy. Because I hear this DJ play, I go into the crowd, I look around, I feel what's necessary. I get on that truck.
I hear what you're saying.
And the spirit takes me where I need to go.
I hear what you're saying, but based on the discussion that we've had and we've talked about the lack of experienced truck DJs, surely there should be someone guiding them.
And I think that is it.
that is it.
It's hard.
If you need guiding, then you shouldn't be on it. As far as I'm clear, if you need guiding how to play on Carnival, then you're not ready.
Yeah, but
there's literally not enough. If we stripped out every DJ who came under that definition of not ready, we probably wouldn't. Boy, I don't even know.
We'll go back to the days that you said when you had a man playing 8 hours on the road.
I know, but the time that we're in now, that's not sustainable.
Hold on, you see, back then you couldn't repeat. You played 8 hours. You could not repeat a song.
Or you might. But you might repeat once every 3 hours to 4.
Yeah.
Not once every
45 minutes.
Because you're taking that.
Once every 45 minutes is being generous.
That's what I'm saying. So you're taking them on a journey. When you play the 8 hours, that's a journey you're taking them on.
Yeah.
And they're on that journey with the highs, the lows, the power. And you tell them, listen, it's whining time now. And everybody starts. You're taking them on that journey.
So,
when you've got
because there's a belief, for example, and I think incorrect belief that hype is equated to BPM. And I don't believe that.
No.
In fact, I know that to not be the case.
No.
I know that I could, if you told me that I couldn't touch a single song that was at 160 and I was only allowed to play tunes that were below that, and I could still generate the same energy off a tune that was at 130 or 135. Easy. You understand? But I just think it's, once again, it's this the lack of education, the lack of maybe even having the opportunity to observe what excellence is. And I think that's actually, if you don't even have a standard that you're trying to reach, it's probably very difficult for you to understand what good even looks like.
Can I ask you another question then? And not to call any names, but do you think for Notting Hill Carnival, there are DJs that are excellent truck DJs? Do you think that we have them here?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you.
Are you not asking me? Okay.
I'm asking for
there are definitely some DJs who I have heard and observed and could say, you understand the assignment. You understand the assignment.
So these DJs, should they be putting on courses to help other DJs? But I've heard like in the DJ world, it's all very secretive, and you don't like to share your. Not because you're not a DJ anymore, but you don't like to share your skills. You don't like to. I think it's the complete opposite.
I think, unfortunately, what it is about DJs, and I can only speak from my own personal experience, a lot of DJs actually have a massive ego. So it takes a lot of humility for a man to go to a next man and say, yo,
shit.
I don't understand or I
need
don't
help.
know. Yeah, I would like to learn.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot of humility for people to do that. And traditionally, that humility comes in the very early stages when you're trying to bust in.
Yeah.
And then
Bust.
once you get
After
your
certain-
one little break, that humility goes very quickly
Yeah.
because you think you're the boss now because you got 1 or 2 bookings in
And then
in
you
your
come
back
to Notting Hill
pocket.
Carnival and realise that you don't
It's-
actually know soca.
Well, sometimes, do you know what it is? I think,
They know soca, you know. But now they-
unfortunately, it's a lot of like, and there's a lot of different nuances, but I can guarantee that same person that I heard screaming on the mic
That lost
2
his
weeks
mind.
ago,
Yeah.
I can promise you he has not been given the feedback because whoever he was with, because he was on the truck, they're so
They're
excited for him because
yeah.
they know that was his moment.
Yeah.
They like, do you understand?
They
So
just-
they've like, oh my god, it was great. I can't
Yes,
believe I saw you
yeah.
in the truck there.
Yeah.
Like, so
They
then
weren't
he's
this-
never
yeah.
been given the feedback,
Yep.
and
And he'll come
so
back next year and do the same
and do
thing.
the same thing
Yeah.
probably again,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, you can always tell really amateur mic men because they talk on the mic and they don't lower the music. You can tell, like when they're trying to have a shouting match
Compete
with the
with the
music,
music,
it's like,
yeah.
just turn it down, it's okay, right? So you can
So
always
they
tell.
don't let them
So
hear it clearly.
you know, and those are like real, and I'm not like a mic man by trade, but I understand the basics, yeah? So I just think, to my previous point, I think unfortunately, there's a lack of excellence for them to be able to aspire to. And ultimately, it's very difficult at scale because we're talking about, what, 50 trucks on the road?
Yeah.
50 times 4 or 5
4 or 5
DJs?
DJs, yeah.
What, you're talking about 250 DJs going through and it's not going to happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
not at scale.
Yeah.
Not with
Yeah.
the current, it's just not.
Yeah.
Which is why you find bands just importing the talent because it's not here.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
think-
But
importing
then the
talent.
DJs here get upset about that because they see it as they're not given a fair opportunity to show what they're able to do in their home carnival.
Yeah.
excellence breeds complacency in when it comes to black
Sorry, say that again?
music. Excellence breeds complacency
Okay.
when it comes to DJs.
Say again. No, I wanna let manifest. Say again. Excellence.
breeds complacency.
Excellence breeds complacency.
What I mean by that,
Always?
no, as I said, in the DJ circuit, when it comes to black music, very often in this country, what happens is the DJ that gets to a certain level, now they've reached that level, now they're complacent. Give you an example. When you see DJ Puffy go out and play, he plays like he's still trying to achieve something. He plays like he's still got something to prove. A lot of top DJs in this country, I find they play like they've made it. And then now, because I've made it, when I play, those top 20, 30 soca songs of the last 2 years, they're mine. And when I go on this truck, everybody needs to know those are my songs to play. So then when you're saying a lot of the DJs get vexed when DJs come from abroad, because when the big name DJ comes from abroad, now those top 20, 30 of the last 2 years belong to him because he's flown in to play them.
Yeah.
Now, rather than say, you know what, let me leave that to him
Yeah, the ego comes
and
up
let
in
me
there.
just shell down with
Then you
some
get
tune
replays.
from 10 years ago and let
Yeah.
people know that there was top 10 in 2010 that are still top 10 songs now. Rather than go down that road, it's just now I'm going to become complacent because the top name DJ from Trinidad is here. And I'm saying I find that so much in this guy, not just in soca, it's in dancehall as well. The top name DJs who are the DJs who, wherever they play, the crowd's going to respond. Because that's your name. Your name is so-and-so. Wherever you play, the crowd are going to respond. So rather than you go down the route and say, you know what, let Mr. Harry come up, play, what's the Nadia, and
Skinny. Come home.
Come Home. Let Harry come up, play that and get his forward from that. Let me play the big
Balance.
You know what? I'm a Palance fan in it, so I'm not even going down that road.
I was just doing that to jam somebody over here.
I know.
I just
I know.
I'm a Palance
I
fan.
was watching his
I'm a
face.
Palance.
when
There's
he
a
said
jam.
it.
Bro, you need to do a shot of soca just dedicated to Palance, and we just debate Palance.
We don't have to debate it. I'm sorry. There's
Palance
no
must
debate.
play.
Well,
There is no debate.
well,
I
there
don't.
is a debate.
I do not care about no
Palance
debate.
must play.
Soca is soca.
Yeah, but Palance is like
Listen,
the soca
Palance
version
is like
of
Pilau. Palance is like Pilau. You'll never get
must-
tired of Pilau.
Rice
So
and
hush.
peas.
Hush.
Rice and peas
Hush.
is just.
He's a
it's
trini.
just-
He's
You
saying
understand
that.
me?
No, but
Palance is
Palance must
soca-
play, bro.
Listen.
Palance must play.
Palance is like
Don't
the
make me
soca
get
equivalent
emotional
of
up
like
here.
Candy.
You know.
But Candy must play.
I tell you earlier,
man.
it's the exact
do-
same
I-
way
I-
as
I-
It must play, bro.
No.
And this is the problem with black culture. No, it's real.
Let's straight into it.
It's a problem with black culture. Because
Why?
I play a lot of white people events, yeah?
Yeah.
And I've never been to a white person and they told me don't play what's that, Sweet Caroline? They never told me don't play
Neil
that.
Diamond.
All them,
But
all them
that's not
hype.
like a national anthem.
No, but what I'm saying is when in black culture, when a song becomes too commercial,
Yeah,
it
people don't
becomes
wanna hear
now
it.
not of the culture. Rather
you know
than
what the issue
respect
is?
the fact that it's reached that
It's
level.
reached that level,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
there was
my
a time.
point.
Yeah.
There was a time back in the day. When I was going places, and as a Jamaican, and I'm going soca places, and I realized I can't play Pump Me Up, I can't play Kim, I can't play Nanny Wine, I can't play Dollar Wine until I've proved that I can play soca for an hour.
Yeah.
And then I'm allowed to play them songs. Because if I start off by playing Nanny Wine, they say, what kind of DJ this from Jamaica playing some foof? And it's like, Nanny Wine is probably one of the greatest soca calypso songs ever made. And we turned it into a song that we're not allowed to play because it's too commercial. It's the culture has
That's a
brought it to
lot
the
of
level.
songs, yeah.
And I'm saying Palance reached that stage and reached that level. And we
Listen.
must respect it, bro.
Listen.
Yes, there's other songs that can play. And Palance don't have to play 15 times. What you don't like, and I agree, when the DJ's playing in the christening and no one ain't dancing, so he said, let me just slap on Candy and get everybody up. That's foolishness.
Of course.
And then Candy play all 4 or 5 times. No, Palance don't need to play 15 times on the
The
road
song's
just to get
already
people
12 minutes
jumping.
long.
But Palance must play.
Yeah.
Palance must play.
Balance must play.
Yeah.
If
That's my
somehow you
campaign.
don't like it, don't jump up.
Don't jump.
Don't
Well,
you can
that's
start.
me.
You can
Yeah,
you
that's
can
me.
do it.
That's
And
me.
at the end of the day,
I
I'll just sit
respect
this
it,
one
but
out.
you
and
won't
I've
see
said
me
it.
do
How
it.
many
This one
times
out.
have I said, Annie? I've
say
said many times. Listen, you're welcome to do whatever you want, but there's songs within soca royalty that deserve their flowers all the time because those songs have made made people travel from wherever it is they was before to come to hear Palance, and then Palance has decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Sweden, Germany, I'm going to go to the depths of Austria, Australia, Zimbabwe, wherever, and have people jumping and listening to what song is that playing? Where is that culture? Where's that from?
It's
Oh, that's soca
interesting.
music? Where's Caribbean? Where's the Caribbean?
play.
Asking them questions. Those songs evoke that.
And I said
So
it's
if it is, it
interesting.
evokes that,
Oh.
it's a 100%
Must
for
play.
my culture. Must play.
Must
Yeah,
play.
and so it's
Palance.
interesting
Because that
a
is
lot
what
of
it
people will
does.
say that
That is what it
soca-
evokes in your mind. You understand me? So because you don't like it, Anthony,
Jonathan.
Jonathan,
finished?
sorry. See, I get so vexed. Jonathan.
And he's not even drinking.
He's not.
He's
Well,
not
I said
even
it's
drinking.
interesting
I know,
because
I'm saying-
people
I'm
say
saying
that they want soca.
And
Hello,
Annie,
sir, can you
You
stop
understand
talking
me?
now?
If no, I'm not done yet.
Okay, finish.
If all you don't like it, all you will stand on the side and watch the people who have never heard it before have an experience that some of us could only wish for. Because I tell you from the top of the truck, from your perspective, from the side of the road, like for me, even when I was standing up in Trinidad and Tobago on the grandstand watching the bands and them cross the stage, and what it does when people resonate with our culture and they come from a very different background, there is no other feeling ever within our culture and in any other culture that I've seen where you experience something so outside. And when you recognize that it's because of a simple 3 beats put together and just jamming right there on a speaker box. Play it. 100%. Play it.
Palance must play.
And if you don't want to hear it, cock your ears.
I'll still sit it out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And make sure it's on a playlist because when I'm going to Goodmuse one time, and if I type in Palance, it better take me to some fet that playing Palance. Yeah, man?
No, they probably will do.
John?
Yeah.
Yeah, man?
Yeah.
All right, I'm watching here.
But
And
it's not us. You have to look at the
You have to
DJs. You look
yeah.
at the promoters.
yeah, I know,
They-
I
if
agree.
If they are playing it, if people want to hear it, fine.
Sorry, Annie, you was just trying to get my attention.
I was trying to talk.
Oh, sorry.
I
No,
didn't want
I
your
was busy.
attention.
You know why?
I know
Because
you was in a super
yeah,
moment.
I was
so that
I was
you
in a
have-
moment there. Sorry.
No, I was saying it's interesting what you're saying because that song has gone global and people do say they want soca to obviously have its platform go global, and when it does, we say you can't play that song. So
How does it make
It's-
make
it's-
it make
it's
sense,
the truth.
please?
You know the funny thing
Make
is,
it make sense.
I remember years ago it happened in dancehall when Tanti Metro and the Wanted did Everyone Falls in Love sometime.
Mhm.
You couldn't go to no dancehall party and hear it. And let me say as a caveat, yeah, when I say certain things about soca, my perspective is a bit warped in the sense of, as a dancehall man, as a Jamaican, I've never been to a dancehall party and heard dancehall all night in my life. And I've been going to dancehall party from when I was a child.
Yeah.
I've never been anywhere and the party start 10 o'clock and finish 6 o'clock in the morning and dancehall play all night. You hear soul, hip hop, R&B. Sometimes you go dancehall party, you don't even hear no reggae or dancehall till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
You get the real hardcore yardy dance them with Celine Dion and Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston whole night.
Yeah.
And then 4 o'clock reach now, you start here to
Everybody
reggae
just
and
right there with the champagne
So
flute.
I understand. I like. Yeah. But so the first time of me starting to go to events where it was just one genre all night was when Roughneck was doing Soca Splash, and them kind of
in
things.
Visions nightclub and Don't
no, but where he used to keep something at Baker's Arms first.
Baker's
So
Arms
when I used to, on a Thursday night,
Thursday night,
he used to go Thursday night in Baker's Arms, and we used to go there, and that was Soca all night. And I was like, the vibe was nice, and that's what I'm saying. I don't have an issue with 100% Soca. It's just the reasons behind it. But when we're speaking about the great songs that have surpassed just the culture, and now they've gone to, if you go to a dancehall dance, you're gonna hear one soca song, it might just be Palance. If it's reached that level where it's the go-to song outside the culture, we can't be in a situation where we're gonna now shun that song in the culture.
Yeah.
We
Do you know
can't
what
do
That's
song
what
that's
Annie
reached
does
that?
do.
What song that's
That's
reached
what
that?
Annie
And
does
like,
do. That's what Annie shunning the culture there.
I don't shun
But
the
she
culture.
don't like
I just don't
Palance.
move to certain parts. of
Move
it.
to Palance. If I don't see you move to Palance, we have a problem.
No, but
I go mash your big toe.
Kes Hello is
So-
now one of those songs.
Oh, for sure.
Huh?
Kes Hello is now a song that has surpassed the culture and is on. Can't even say it's on the fridges. It's out there, and we can't cancel that song.
We don't even have to go as far back as Kes. We could go literally just Problem Child song.
No, but I mean,
Holiday.
Kes Hello, like literally, I hear that song everywhere. Like no matter where you go, I can hear it in certain restaurants, and they're playing. I'm just like, oh, a little
Now,
soca.
Kids, it's real.
No, little Soca. Soca is
No,
Soca.
but you
It's
get
not
what I mean.
little.
Like in places where you won't
Soca.
expect to it, that song is now reaching it. And there's certain soca songs.
Where is the
I was having a discussion with somebody, and they were asking me whether "Feeling Hot" was a soca song, and I was like,
Wow.
how can it not be a soca song?
Who asked that question?
I'm not naming names, but someone asked me. They were like, oh, didn't ask me. I had an argument with them. They were like, it's not soca, and I was like, it is. They were like, it's not, and I was like, so what is it if it's not
But
soca?
you can get cussed for playing that in certain places, you know.
Of course you could, but I said it's.
And I'm
it's,
like,
yeah.
right, if people actually know the man that did the song
Yeah.
and his history in the music, and I'm saying like, this is a legendary song, and I
Yeah.
don't. It's we have this mentality towards
to
our
my
culture. song.
Montserrat family.
I don't get it. I don't,
Shout out to my Montserrat family.
of course.
I want to
Antigua
ask
family.
Rory another question, because you said something based on Playmas, and then that now you have a greater insight, I guess, to how. Let me just say it straight. How much of money bands do or do not make. There's a massive debate, and figures come out. So I think from Notting Hill Carnival, they said it was like, what, 396 million that was generated.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, well, if that's how much money is being generated then by Carnival, all these mass bands must be sitting on millions of pounds and rolling around in money that they don't know what to do with, because that's how much money Carnival is generating. Do you see that from the mass band, like from the work that you have with the mass bands? Do you see mass bands actually accessing that money? Like, is the picture that is kind of painted out actually what the reality is? No words.
But then, very well, you have to understand, in Notting Hill, once again, it's a little bit unique. In other carnivals across the world, all the mass bands are businesses. They're businesses, which means my objective is to turn a profit, right? I have shareholders, I have investors, I have sponsors, I have masqueraders that pay money, and after all of that, and I've paid for my drinks, and I've paid for my trucks, and I've paid for my talent, and I've paid for all of this stuff, I need to have money left in the bank. That's the objective. There are some bands over here.
So how is Notting Hill different?
Because there are some bands over here who do not have the objective of making money, because they may have, they operate as not-for-profits, so they may be getting money from the Arts Council, for example.
Okay.
There's not many anymore, but they may get money from the Arts Council, or they are doing this. There's a lot of bands that I could only really describe it as like struggle love.
Yes,
Yeah?
because it's self-funded.
And it's self-funded, and you can just see the struggle, and you see the trucks, and there's, that's all the other side of it I like to observe. And I'm looking at this truck, and I'm like, so you brought a 40-foot truck to have that on it, and you've got 10 people behind your truck, and I could just do some quick maths.
Yeah, and it's not
That ain't
making
making
sense.
financial
sense.
sense.
It's a loss,
Yeah, but they just so want the love for the culture is so strong that it doesn't even matter. Like it's like Carnival's one of their children. You understand? Where you're taking the L each year, but you'll just come back and do it year after year after year.
Yeah.
You don't really see that as much abroad. But then also abroad, the local corporates push Carnival way harder than local corporates here. So the sponsorship deals that I see go through in like the Caribbean, even in the form of product, even if it ain't cash in the bank, but even just product is not even on the same universe
scale,
as Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah.
So I feel like the bands here have less people paying lower prices, probably have more outgoings, and they have to somehow, they're not getting the sponsorship, they're not getting government funding, and they somehow have to balance the books.
It doesn't balance, so
it's and sometimes they don't balance. So I absolutely understand the how tough it is to have I understand on the face of it how tough it is to have a financially successful carnival band in the UK, and I understand how difficult it is. Now, part of that problem, I would say, is obviously that pricing, which is a very sensitive topic, is somewhat controlled by the majority, right? So when you view a costume, what makes it cheap or expensive? How do you actually define that comment that's an expensive costume?
You asking?
Yeah, we want to know, Annie.
But for me,
Yeah.
what would I?
For
how it looks.
Yeah,
backpack. I would
the
say
backpack.
the backpack is for me
Right,
would determine
but
whether it's
of that money that you're paying, such a minute amount of that money is actually related
to the back.
because you're paying for an experience.
Yeah.
As much as you're relating that £600 directly to that costume, such a massive portion of that money is actually about your experience because your purchase decision is based pure. Like I'm exchanging my £600 for this costume. However, when I go on the road, I want another 10 grand worth of value because I want security, I want drinks, I want food, I want trucks, I want DJs, I want this, I want that one. And it's like, whoa, hold on a second.
You know what? Roll out
Where
a
does
red
that come
carpet.
from?
As I step onto Notting Hill, I want to be walking on a red carpet.
Right.
I do.
I want
don't.
all of that.
So
I want to. Yeah. No,
that's why I think there's some.
I want hot food and clean toilets.
There is somewhat of a disconnect, and I think it exists more in Notting Hill than in most places. I would say, in that the consumer.
Don't even try. Don't try.
Don't tread carefully.
Don't try. Just
the consumer sensitivity to pricing. Is,
just say Annie and them.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do that to her.
The man said
I'm
my
not
money's
saying-
long. Don't bring me in this.
Yeah, and he's not like because and he's money. You hear a 9 costume Annie.
I was saying
9
I
costume
just
Annie
call she out. That is gashy every time.
is
That documented, right? Oh, they hear that, right? Everybody hear that, right?
Yep.
It's that's out there, right? Okay,
but it's
good.
more from a perspective of somehow, like sometimes I think it's misinformation. So, for example, this year was the first year I saw bands charging proper money for T-shirt packages, and I was so happy.
Oh
I was
my
happy.
goodness!
Listen,
What's your
I was happy.
Bring out your
Hey,
mic. Bring
I was
out your
happy.
mic.
Take.
I was happy.
Hey, watch me.
Okay,
I
so
just
wait,
love
what-
it.
what
I
do you-
just love it.
What do you mean by
Because
proper
Oh
money?
my gosh!
Because
I
I'm
love it.
Sir,
I'm looking at this year.
Let me take one moment.
I'm looking at like previously your average price for it to get a Monday
He's out breath.
fully inclusive drinks T-shirt, £60.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Right. You go Trinidad. I know it's not Trinidad, but you go Trinidad just to show you like the gulf or in the you go to Trinidad and go to a band and ask them for pants. You're gonna get some shorts and they call it pants and ban,
Pants
which
and
is like the
ban.
lowest level of entry.
Lowest level.
The lowest level of entry to carnival. Pants, you don't even get a top. You get some shorts,
It's hot. You don't
which
need a
are
top.
even cheaper
Yeah.
to produce than t-shirts. Yeah,
Yeah.
shorts and a wristband access.
Tell
What's
them.
the price?
Yeah,
Tell them.
the minimum.
Tell
I'm telling
them.
you, the minimum you're paying is around 600 US.
Tell them.
For what? Sorry,
600
Tell
US.
them
I didn't
again.
put too much tequila in my
Tell
cup.
them
How-
again.
How
You're
much?
paying between 500 and 600 US.
Tell them
Easy.
again.
Not me.
Easy.
Tell them.
This is why I've not been
and this is
Trinidad.
by the way, this is for context. This is like in a, let's just say in like
A premium band.
a premium band.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right?
There's
So
all the
you're paying,
differentiation.
there's
Can't say
differences.
that, but yeah.
You'll pay easy 500 to 600 as a guy to go and get pants and band.
Yep.
That's not even costume. But
Some
because
band, you know, it's outrageous. No.
why is it that and unfortunately that's just been the culture
Of course,
how
yes. Yeah.
how
Yeah.
people have been educated to believe that's good value.
Yeah.
But I could never understand how you can make that make commercial sense. So then you're having to sell hundreds of these t-shirts to make it make financial sense. Or to even make
Trinidad
it
is one thing. All right, compare it then to Antigua or Dominica.
So Antigua and Dominica, from my understanding, you can't get t-shirt packet. I think the cheapest in Antigua, let me take Antigua because that's like a carnival in the come up. In Antigua, their t-shirt packages, even there, you're about 80 US.
Yep.
That's
At
what I'm going to
least.
say.
80, 90
less
US.
than I know it's less than 100.
Yeah, it's about 80,
And they say
about
it's
around
similar
80,
with Dominica.
Yeah.
80 or 90
Yeah, but
US.
that's
But you know
still-
what the
it's
issue
still
is, and
different.
I'm sure it's
But one
the
thing
same.
they do have over there is the guaranteed numbers. Yeah, so
Exactly,
they're
yeah.
charging 890, but you're getting 3,000
Yeah, yeah.
strong in your
Yeah.
band, guaranteed.
But that 80 US
And they're getting
transfers to about
sponsorship.
the 60, 70.
But
Yeah,
they're
but
getting
it's not the same
sponsorship.
thing.
Remember,
Yeah.
they're getting sponsorship for sure.
Yeah.
Because in the Caribbean, you remember your local distillery is across the road from your house, and you're going into a man and say, "Yo, I want to
Yeah.
put your thing on my truck." You
Yeah.
say, "Yeah, man,
Yeah,
come
no problem, take it."
thing." Yeah, over here,
Different.
you're seeing the
Different.
bands go into Costco struggling to try and get
Literally.
water week
Yeah.
before carnival.
Yeah.
You think that them things exist in
Yeah.
the Caribbean?
Yeah.
No.
You think, no. Blue
They're not
Waters
doing
was
that.
Blue Waters
No,
was
I
there.
agree.
But the only reason why I asked,
whole time,
no,
whole
the only
time
reason why I
crate.
asked him about
Take 10
Antigua,
crate.
and because I know their price are much cheaper, so I just wanted to do, because Trinidad is like, and there's a lot of people that are complaining that Trinidad's become too commercialized with Carnival as well. That's why I asked about Antigua and Dominica, because I
Yeah.
know their t-shirt packages are a
Yeah.
lot lower
Yeah.
than that 600. That's
Yeah.
the reason why I asked. But I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, but
I get
I
what
said
you're
it.
saying as well.
I said
think,
it.
So this year now, just so I can
Yeah,
see,
context,
so this
yeah.
year, for context, a lot of bands started putting up their prices to a little 150
And a lot of people are unhappy
and
by that.
a little 150, and people were unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they still paid it though.
Some were
Or
190.
190,
paid it though.
depending on how early
People
or late
did
you
still
were.
pay it.
still
but
paid it.
People
I
did
still
still
paid
pay
it,
it.
right?
Right.
Because that was their
People
choice,
still
right?
Exactly.
Exactly. And you get what you pay for, right?
Exactly.
And you read the fine print. And
But
if you
do
don't
you
like
not-
the fine print,
but
don't pay for it,
Do
right?
you not think that we're at a risk of pricing people who are part of the culture out of the culture?
Nah.
No.
Because there are still going to be bands, as in every place. Right, okay, tomorrow, Annie, you decide you want to buy a new car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You have the choice. If you wanted to spend £100 on a car, you could.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's going to be great. I'm not saying it's going to get you far. I'm not saying you're going to enjoy it.
But
but
you
you
could.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You sound like these two, and it's
You
actually
could.
annoying
You could.
me.
If
But
in
I hear you.
Carnival,
Yes.
you want to enjoy Carnival and
This
you
is just a
don't
male
want to...
perspective, guys.
And you don't want to...
Wow, Annie.
I said I'm
The
joking.
reality is it takes a lot of money
No, I
to
understand
produce
that.
this thing.
I understand that. And I think the issue that some people have with Notting Hill Carnival, and I guess it's the same, which any carnival you go to, is that when you're a local in a carnival, like when I go to St. Lucia, I can't lie to you, I'll pay whatever. I'm going to St. Lucia, I'm paying what I'm paying. I won't necessarily question it. Notting Hill, I'm looking sideways.
Did you,
Why-
did
why
you
is
say-
that?
wait, stop,
Why-
sorry,
why-
just a
why is
question.
that?
She says she won't question. That means there's an unlimited.
Unlimited, yeah.
Unlimited.
So why?
Yeah.
So why is it? So why is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Unlimited.
yeah.
Did you hear that? Everybody heard unlimited.
I
bank
didn't say
account.
unlimited.
What did you call
You
that?
don't
Why
know
is
words
it
in my
nine-
mouth.
Nine,
You
what
heard
did you call
that?
that?
Hold on.
Nine
Limit.
costume Annie?
Nine costume
Nine
Annie.
costume Annie.
Hold on,
Nine
guys. Hold on, hold
So
on.
why
That's
is
not
it?
what I said.
So why is it when you go to St. Lucia, it's a completely different attitude to going to Notting Hill Carnival?
It's the experience.
It's because
Of-
she's looking at the gas bill, the
of-
water
No,
rate.
When
do
you
know
say
what it is?
experience-
It's the experience. So like I know what I'm getting for Notting Hill Carnival, and I don't necessarily believe it is worth me paying
And how many times have you done
700,
St. Lucia
800.
Carnival?
I've done St. Lucia twice now.
And
Yeah,
what,
so-
okay, when you say like for sorry to
No,
cut
no,
you.
you good.
So when you're talking about the experience,
Mhm.
Could you define that
I
a
get
little bit?
I get road space to myself. My backpack won't be broken within like the first hour of me being on the road.
So you're defining your experience by the amount of space you can have.
A lot of
so
it is
your
due to the
backpack-
space. A lot of it, and I
Really?
think that comes down to masqueraders. A lot of it is due to the space.
That's interesting.
If we had more space, because it's like you're paying all this money for something that is not even really being appreciated. Like I'm fighting for space on the road. Like I have paid.
Yeah, but you're in a band with 3,000 people. Like,
No,
what space
no,
are
but-
you gonna get?
No,
interesting.
that's fine. But it's not the other masqueraders. We all want our space. That's fine. It's the stormers and the other people that shouldn't be there. So that affects the experience that you have on the road. If you get what I mean. So a
that-
lot of people.
So that depends on the security.
Yes.
Okay.
So if, and I put it to you, that if bands in the UK were able to charge what bands, let's just say in the Caribbean charge, if they were able to generate those kinds of incomes, do you believe they'd be able to deliver be able to deliver?
You're not getting nothing.
I'm not gonna say
No.
a comparable experience.
No.
Why? Well, why not though? So I'm in St. Lucia.
Because you
and
know
I've
what
got,
it is? No, because the way I see Carnival in the Caribbean is that it's so embedded into the infrastructure of the country. They respect it. They make way for it. Like it's as you said, you'll get certain sponsorship deals that you may not get here. Like they will close certain things down for that carnival. I don't feel like Notting Hill Carnival gets the same respect that it would in other places. And if I'm quite honest, I don't feel like a lot of people even want Notting Hill Carnival to be where it is. So they make it harder for us to navigate in that sphere to make it a true experience for the masquerader.
put into perspective, right? Taylor Swift doing 3 concerts at Wembley.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started,
No,
please.
and I'm
Oh
just
my
being
gosh.
honest. No, just being real.
No,
This is from the business perspective.
listen.
Taylor Swift doing 3 or 4 dates at Wembley Stadium generates
It's
more
not
for
Beyonce, it's when
generates more for the economy than Notting Hill Carnival does.
I can imagine that.
But that you know, that aside, you know, obviously she's, you know, a very unique individual in terms of her talent, etc. I think to your original point around all of the money that Notting Hill Carnival generates for the economy, we have to remember there was an initial investment, and this is what, like, you have to be able to look at this stuff with some level of context. There is an investment made by the councils and those who pay for. It doesn't just appear on the road for free.
Yep.
There is a number. There's a lot of money that is spent. So that money that then gets generated, well, of course, it's going to go back to those who have invested.
Well, hold on.
Right?
Sorry, let me. This is where I disagree. Yeah. Councils. Remember, every council, has a certain budget for the year to do various things.
Yes.
Most of these councils don't do nothing. If you notice, every March you see bare roadworks going up. Why? Because you have to use up a certain amount of your budget to get the same budget back the following year. So they start wasting money on roadworks everywhere. Next March, April, you will see bit. Why? Because the financial new year is in April. So they have to use up a certain amount of the budget. But you try go to your local council and say, listen, we want to put on this event. They're not giving you nothing. So most of the money they get is just sitting there as dead money. So yes, they invest money into Carnival, but they're making that back tenfold. Here's the problem now. Back in the day when it was Coca-Cola, Western Union, Supermarket, all these companies that was funding, they were funding Carnival as a whole. The bands were benefiting from that. You had, and polarizing figure to some, I think she's a great person, Claire Holder. I've had personal discussions with Claire Holder. In fact, my brother interviewed Claire Holder yesterday. Yeah? And a lot of the money generated at the time, the bands were benefiting. The bands on the road, the mass bands were benefiting from that. When a certain amount of money was made, so that remember when there was the food vendors were like literally stuck together. There were so many of them. Them time that was like £250, £300 for a stall there. Yeah, the license for that for the council was about £40. Yeah, so once they get the thing for £300, the Carnival Committee, Clay Holder and them take £40, give it to the council. That rest of that money came to the Carnival Organising Committee. Out of that, every year the bands were given a certain amount of money. It wasn't millions, it wasn't a great amount, but they was all given something. This is your start-up for next year. Carnival. Bands receive absolutely nothing from the local authorities. And that 396 million is a very modest figure because that's surrounding Carnival. There's another part that says that, imagine if 2 million people are in Carnival, they're saying each individual at Carnival spends minimum £20 in Carnival. So now we have to times 2 million by 20 to get another figure of what's actually being spent in Carnival.
Yeah.
The bands and the sound systems receive none of that money. So what makes Carnival Carnival? The mass band, the stalls, the sound systems, all of this that makes up what we consider to be our culture. Someone is making close to $1 billion off of that experience, and we receive not 1 penny to keep it going. So then when we look at the Caribbean, as you said, the governments of the Caribbean, most of them are puppets of the West. But one thing they can't mess with is Carnival.
They can't mess with Carnival.
They can't mess it because if you really want the people to revolt, if you want people to stop voting, tell them no Carnival.
No Carnival's
Say
done.
no Spice
Next year.
Masters,
Tell them no Carnival.
Yeah.
So
No
the one
Copper.
thing that they have to pretend in the Caribbean that they're for is Carnival. Because Carnival culture must continue. So the businesses understand that people are coming in from abroad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in Trinidad, anytime I know people going Trinidad for Carnival, I can't ask them to bring back a bottle of punching. You can't carry it out the country.
Yeah.
Because punching is about to done. It's about to finish during Carnival. We got to re-up now after Carnival. What's on the island is staying on the island. So the corporations understand that when punching invests in Carnival, they know they're making that back tenfold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with mass bands and that, and like you said, it's a struggle, but they're doing it for the love of it. I don't want to give local authorities and governments no blame whatsoever because they love when Carnival comes around. Everyone's licking their lips because everyone's making money, knowing that the same people that everyone wants to exploit black culture. There's a song and I can't remember that. See, my brother's one of your favorite songs. I can't remember who sing it, but it's a song that says, "Everybody wants to sing my blues, but nobody wants to live my blues." Chelsea and Kensington love when Carnival come around. BBC love when Carnival come around because they make money from it. Mm-hmm. The same media outlet that rubbishes Carnival every year talks about acid attacks and rare and all of this. That same company is the same company broadcasting Carnival every year. BBC come Carnival, set up live stream, set up broadcast on the radio, and then as Carnival done, how many people got arrested? And acid attacks and the rubbish on the floor and the rare. BBC don't want Carnival to done because it helps them take over. Kensington and whatever, they don't. All this is going to move to Hyde Park. It's never moving to Hyde Park. They want it right there, but they want to keep it in their grasp while rubbishing it at the same time so they can make money.
Agreed.
Bro, the mass bands 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they received something after Carnival. They receive nothing at all. Now, mass bands are struggling. I'm telling you this, and I'm not going to name the bands. Last thing I want to say. Now, I'm not going to name the bands, but guarantee, either next year or the year after, there is one massive band on the road that's not going to exist. They're going to be behind another. So you're going to have this big truck that's already existing, and this other massive band that has thousands of revelers as well. They're not going to be on the road no more. They're going to be behind another truck. Because they, with their thousands of people they get every year, can no longer handle Carnival.
Not sustainable.
It's not sustainable for them.
I do think one thing I think Notting Hill's probably failed as the popularity of Notting Hill has changed. So, people think about what Notting Hill was, 50 years ago. 50 years ago, I'm sure there wasn't 2 million people on the street, right? In the same way there is now. So there does have to be a bit of an evolution of like, okay, you spoke about sustainability. Like, is it sustainable to have 50, 40-foot trucks going around this route on Carnival Monday? Probably not. Does it make sense to have a big 40-foot truck with 10 people behind it chipping down the road? Now, as much as that might be their experience, great. But I guess I was just trying to look at it like, there probably needs to be a bit of a shift here in the sense of, you know what?
Of everything, does it make sense?
If your Carnival organisation isn't going to have, 100 people behind I do think there needs to be some level of
Can I ask
consolidation.
a
There actually
question?
is.
So
There has to be.
There actually is.
Is there a, is, huh?
Yeah, there is
I
a
was gonna ask,
stipulation.
Is there a
There's a
minimal
stipulation.
There is a
50
minimum.
costumes.
There is a minimum with costumes in order for that band to be able to register to go onto the road.
Yeah.
Right.
I
there is
think
a minimum with that,
probably-
and
Minimum
then
50
also
costumes.
they've also limited the amount of
T-shirts.
T-shirts that
yeah.
is going to be
Compared to
on the
costume.
road, so that the band and people invest in the band in terms of costumes. That way, the band actually tries to make their money to pay for the road. You know. So I hear what you're saying, Rory, right? And I hear what you're saying, Natural Mystic. We know that there's powers that be. That's always going to be there, and it's very difficult for us. And I said it on our last show that when somebody decides to come and sit down on this couch
Yeah.
and
give
have
you
an
all the
honest
figures.
honest conversation with us and give us figures, we will only resort to what is your thinking, what your process is of it, and everybody else will follow that same bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
So either we recognize what the bandwagon is and we know that it wouldn't change, and then we change our mindset towards it,
Mm-hmm.
or we knock on the door and continuously knock on the door
Yeah.
and say, hey, we're not going to stop knocking on the door until you all come and sit down and level the playing field for us,
Yeah.
which we know not going
It's
to
not gonna
happen.
But
so-
that's what we need to
I
do,
do.
sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there's sometimes
sometimes
you need to know when you're fighting
yeah?
a losing battle
Yeah,
and
if
just
you're fighting a
accept
losing
something
battle,
for
then
what it is
shift
and try
shift
and
the
make that into the
battlefield.
best thing it can
Then
be.
what we play mass for then?
For
you
the
know
love
what?
of it.
The exact same reason why them bands struggling.
Okay, you know why I
We-
give thanks? I give thanks that our, and not my ancestors, but our ancestors didn't stop knocking on the door,
Mhm.
because it took them 400-500 years of knocking on the door to get the freedom that we could actually have what we call carnival.
That's what I'm saying.
Which
Then you
started
shift
with
that.
a mockery.
No, but you shift
of
the
the powers
knocking. You
that
shift
be.
the knocking. You don't knock on the door in a natural way or this. Hey, in a natural way that you knock the door, right? You don't do it that way. You shift your mentality in a way that, watch me. What drives carnival? What comes there more than anything else? The people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they come there? Because they want to see, on some level, costumes.
Yep.
They want to hear song systems.
Yep.
Right? You shift the understanding of what brings people there, and then when they catch on to that, yes, they'll want to bite into it, but we just can't just let it go as easily as we did before, and how it is we usually do, and don't pretend that we don't, because the bigger entities within Carnival, they let go of that stuff because 10, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 gets passed to them and they're good.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So we have to also look at ourselves and recognize that we have a part to play when it is we allow this to happen. You understand me?
Oh,
because
my God,
we no, you understand what I'm saying, right?
No, and there's
we
black
allow
people,
it.
There
We
are
allow,
black people who were paid handsomely
yeah, we allow it to
to
happen.
mash up carnival.
So
Remember, all I would say is this: Clear Holder was paid, went to court, took a number of people to court, including the council, and was paid out handsomely for how they threw her under the bus and destroyed the carnival committee that she was. So I agree. There are many of our people. One of those individuals who is still on the carnival committee today.
leave it so. Leave it
That's
so.
what I'll say.
Said
But
leave it so.
Leave it so.
But what I will say is, many of our people have been heavily involved in the destruction of carnival, which is not new.
I wouldn't
Because
say
there were many of-
destruction. I would say the negative connotations that come across when we talk about carnival, when we envision carnival. I won't say it's destroyed because it's going to be here next year. It's going to be here the year after that. It's going to be here after that.
Across
It's
the world.
just the way that it's portrayed. After any carnival, we just need to change the narrative together as a community.
Yep.
We
The
really
positives,
need to,
not the
you know,
negatives. We don't need to highlight.
really need to
Yeah.
energize the person next to us and say, hey, wait till you watching on your phone. They, boy, I reading this thing about all these people and this happened and that happened. Ignore that.
Yep. Can I just say something on that
Yeah.
point? Normally on Follow Soca, you have
She said
the no.
Yeah,
Sorry, top
no,
of the
no,
gate.
but we should. I know you're gonna say yeah because
Normally
I.
you have the these are their stories, everything that went wrong. I did not see nothing
that is what we like.
from
Yeah.
Notting Hill
That is a good thing
Carnival.
about it. There.
I didn't see
Yeah.
no. I paid for this backpack and I got 4 feathers and nothing.
that's
Like
true.
That is
there
one
was
thing.
nothing negative.
So shout out to the whole of the UK
Yes.
for, I
Putting
want to say
on-
UK, but also Notting Hill
Yes.
Carnival,
Yes.
because we had that discussion,
Yeah, we
right?
did. And I literally went
I
and
was like,
searched through and I was like, I can't see
I said,
anything.
hey,
No,
no
bro,
bacchanal happen
negative.
over here.
we must
We
say
like that.
We must say the mass bands and the sound systems, because my issue is when we talk about Notting Hill Carnival. Yes, it's Notting Hill Carnival, but we then we're at risk of giving credence to Chelsea and Kensington, who don't deserve no respect. So we got the mass bands, we got the sound systems, who year after year, in the face of the biggest fight of what actually makes Carnival, gets the biggest fight, but year after year we persevere. Why? Because the spirit of our ancestors continues to permeate in our beings. It's like Carnival can't dead. You know why? Because we can't dead. For years and years they tried to kill us spiritually and we're still here. So the fact that Carnival still exists is a testament to who we are as a people. What we need to do is, in that spiritualness where we can come together for Carnival, when Carnival is done and we get sober, that's when we need to say, okay, now we need to go knocking. Because you know why? That's when our spirits are at their height. As I get what you're saying, you might stop discussing Carnival next week. But that's when we need to be discussing Carnival, September, October, when spiritually we're still on that Carnival high. We need to be guided them and saying, here we are going now. This needs to be discussed. When the Reclaim Carnival meetings were taking place, they were saying, we want to know where all the money from Carnival is going. And they were demanding the figures. And 2 meetings were saying, where are the figures? And they said, we're not stopping till we get those figures. But then Reclaim our Carnival committee
and then they
mash
stopped.
up. And then no one came back.
No
the
one
figures
asked the question again.
So we have to keep and
knocking.
maybe it's the young. I mean, we're not really young no more. We're trying to hold on to our youth in it. Like we're nearly what? I'm nearly 40 innit?
Speak
I'm
for
nearly
yourself,
40 innit?
brother.
We're
But
young at heart.
I'm
and
saying
some
the
of us
younger
are
ones
young.
of us.
I
Some of us
don't
are
have to
younger
hold
than
on to
you.
it. I did. I young.
No,
And
okay,
I strong. I did.
what I'm saying is sometimes you go to those meetings, you see Uncle Cecil and Aunt Merle, 90 years old, discussing. Like they don't have that fight in them no more.
Yeah.
But
that's when we carry it. That's
we
when
have to pick it up.
Yep, and as
and
you
start
said,
going
pass it
and
down
doing-
to the younger generation, teach them about the culture, teach them what Carnival means, and then they will want to continue the fight as well.
Yeah. So I on the final note,
I think that's a nice place to...
yeah, that's a nice place to end it right there. Annie, so in short, you sponsoring everybody
Me?
for Carnival next year?
Listen,
'Cause I hear
no,
you-
I'm buying my rowboat to
Trini,
to
I
row
heard
across
she's
the
sponsoring
Caribbean.
every. You know, like when what's that
Yeah,
name?
just
We know
making
what's
sure
the
you-
word? What's the big one?
We
That
want
used to do
you.
the talk show.
We want.
Don't
We
know.
want.
Oprah
Jonathan,
Winfrey.
We want.
What I want.
We want from Annie.
Trini, listen,
Annie
we got
roll in.
this. We got it. You know when Oprah Winfrey used to be on the show.
Upload your events, man.
Yeah. It's
Upload your
fire.
events.
Well, when
Listen,
Oprah
I'm
Winfrey
gonna
used to
tell
do the show, and
everybody.
she used to
Yeah,
say,
let's talk.
everybody in the audience today is gonna get a free Mercedes Benz. And
You
we go,
get it.
yeah.
You get
So
fine.
today,
You get a
Annie, right?
Carnival
And he's
costume.
paying for
You get a
everyone to go
Carnival
to
costume.
Lucia
You
next
get a
year.
Carnival
Yeah.
costume.
Full costume.
But no, what is
Courtesy
it?
of Annie.
No band and shorts or pants and bands.
No,
and
we're doing
whatever
full
it's called.
costume. St. Lucia next year, courtesy of Annie.
Courtesy
Nice.
of
Hey.
Annie's got us.
Hey.
as long as
Before-
it can be under one Playmas account. There you go. That's my
As,
condition.
whoa!
We're sorted. We're sorted.
And naturally, before we finish, plug your socials and everyone where they could find you.
I'm terrible on socials. I'm trying to get better, but at Natural Mystic DJ, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everything.
Nice.
Trying to get better, but yeah.
Playmas, where they could find you, where they could find all you.
If you want to find me personally, it's at Rory Peters UK on Instagram. And if you want to follow the team, then at Playmas,
You should follow them.
PlayMasapp.
Sorry. Why are you looking at me?
Who should follow them?
Everybody.
Oh.
Any masquerader. This is
I
the
thought she
people
was
you need
giving me
to be
side eye, you
following.
know.
Huh?
She was giving me side eye, you know.
No, I said you should follow them.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow the
Keep-
team.
Follow them.
Follow them.
Team.
Playmas app.
You know, as a masquerader, you know your costume. You follow them, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I will say, from Notting Hill, big up all the bands that support, big
Yes.
up all the bands that work with us year in, year out. Yeah, it's
Nice.
obviously appreciated. And obviously keep the feedback coming. and we don't get better unless we hear what the people want.
Well, I need to tell you
So
real
you
thing
might regret
tonight.
that,
Tell
me.
me.
I'll
I
be
need to
in your
tell you real
DMs.
thing tonight
I want
already.
this and I
I'm
want
here for
that.
the. I'm here for the
I'm
feedback.
surprised it wasn't on your phone, right? Yeah.
What,
Let me
you know I'm
write
a
it down.
note taker.
But then you have everything recorded, so you can just go back and hear it for
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly.
You know,
So,
and
yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah, so follow Goodmuse app on all the socials, and me personally, it's at the real Johnny Ambrose, and I'll get back to you if you want to DM any questions about the brand, anything about entrepreneurship, anything about tech. If you want to start up your own app, we'll give you a little heads up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a conversation after for sure.
Yeah, that's
You know, that is what it is you want. That is what we want. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you all on a shot of Soca.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure it's been
I
a
learned a
very
lot today.
insightful. Huh?
Did you learn anything?
Did I learn anything? I'll tell you what it is I learned, right? I learned that I was right. And I learned that fire burn people like
The microphone is coming on now.
I just wanted to, shout out to Carib Culture. You know, shout out to Myra Studios. You know, that part with the t-shirts and thing, watch me, some people have some deep-seated feelings about it.
Do you know what? I would say explain, but I don't think we have the time to.
No, we don't have the time to explain.
But, he said we have the time.
You have the time. All right. So to make it very clear for everybody, right? Is the complaint about how much the t-shirts cost,
Yes.
right? And what access you have to the band with the amount of money that you pay.
You're already saying it wrong. It's not how much the t-shirts cost. It is as you said, the dramatic price increase, because now people are actually charging people what they should have been charging them.
But how much it costs?
Like. Yeah, I know, but it's not just how much it costs. It's the fact that prices have dramatically gone up and you're getting nothing more for that price. So people are just like, what am I paying for? I was paying £60. I'm now paying 150 and I can't use a toilet truck.
So this inflation, okay,
Jermaine.
that is
He's getting his mic up.
that is economics is a very real thing. So that's like saying my road tax doubles, but I'm expecting to get more fuel doubles. I'm expecting to get more fuel. No, like that in every, and this is what I mean. In Carnival and the business of Carnival, for some reason we give it some different kind of energy to all of the other, other bits and pieces in our lives. And I, like I said, I see the struggle when that's what you're up against, which is the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Right. So big up all the people who took a chance and put their prices up, knowing they were probably gonna get some licks.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, that's what.
Well, you're gonna make me take a shot around just for that day.
Because that's what inflation does. Because the cost,
Let's say you've been doing Notting Hill for the last 10 years and you're accustomed to paying like £60 for a t-shirt.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's 160.
Yeah.
Basically. That's what it is.
And do you know what it is? I think it's just historic.
When you say inflation, if your rent went up times 3 right now,
Yeah.
you've got a big problem.
Yeah.
You might be homeless.
Yeah.
But that's priority.
So when we're talking about it, talk about it for what it is. Don't normalize something going up like 300%.
Yeah.
You get one like don't.
No, but it's not a matter of it being normalized though.
No, but it is being normalized.
Inflation.
Yeah.
No, that's not the answer.
I actually think it's more than inflation. I think it's been a rebalancing or a reset or a realignment of where pricing, because unfortunately
Where the price point should have been.
we in Notting Hill, they have been spoilt with, so the bands have just been absorbing over the years all of these cost increases. Once again, does the average masquerader care or even understand about the price per plume of a feather?
I've got a question though.
They wouldn't even understand that concept.
We need to wrap up, and it's Jermaine's fault, eh?
Do you know what?
It's Jermaine's fault.
I have a question based on
Jermaine's fault.
We need to bring you back so we can have this debate, because
no, but I'm asking a question because from what I heard last time, what the gripe was you were saying that people are paying £150, £160 for a t-shirt and can't use the toilet.
Yeah.
And don't have proper security.
Yeah.
So then the question would be, when they was paying £60, could they use the toilet?
No.
Because that's what I'm saying. So the reason I'm asking that, because with my band, toilet access and security, whether your t-shirt or costume comes with it. So I didn't know that there were bands that were saying, well, if you're in T-shirt, you can't take a piss.
The thing is, right, is the size of your band, right? If it is, and then also the policy of your band. You understand me? And that comes with, and I will come back to the exact same thing.
Read
terms
the
and conditions.
Don't
If it is you don't want to read and you just want
Yeah.
to open up your bank account like Annie and just spend your money.
I read.
You understand?
Some
9
You
costume
understand?
Annie, sir. 9
Then
costume
you
Annie.
can't be upset if it is somebody check you at the door and say, wait a minute, no, this is not a part of what it is you're paying for.
Let's be honest though. How many people actually read the terms and
That's what I said
conditions?
to him.
Well, and that's-
of
and that's-
anything?
I said
and-
realistically.
Of anything.
Of anything.
You said it yourself.
Well.
What realistically happens is, for me, I know that my girls, they will not go to any other band that if I don't say it, we're not going there. I will say to them, this year I'm going Isle of Mass, here's the link, they'll buy it. They don't know what they're getting with Isle of Mass, they
Right.
just know they're going
And
Isle
that's
of Mass on
okay.
Sunday.
That's okay, but then
And
you
then they
have
will
to
complain because
suck
they're
it up.
like, why
He's
can't I
saying
do
you
this
should
and the
read it
other?
and then tell them. If we're getting
Yeah.
a T-shirt, you
So
can't
it's
piss.
all- it's
He's
your
saying you
responsibility.
read it and
Your
tell
own
them.
eyes.
You keep
But
letting
yes.
her statements go over your head. She said, I tell people.
tell people, yeah, I don't worry,
I
I
get
know.
to just
Watch me.
influence
I'm
message in the
trying,
group chat.
boy.
And they just all
I
go and spend their
trying,
money.
I am
without-
trying,
without-
Rich gang in
They
it.
do.
I am
Yeah.
trying here.
Wow.
So what?
Rory,
No.
you see
Do
the
it,
problem
tap,
that is
tap,
going
tap,
through,
tap,
right?
So that's great. That's
You see
great.
what this others have to go through
I'm a
all
true
the time.
influencer,
Annie.
guys.
Mm.
I'm
I'm
glad
not a
somebody
social
else
media
recognized.
influencer. I'm a friend influencer. I'm a carnival influencer.
You understand?
By the true definition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but you understand what we're dealing with, Rory, now?
I hear.
And finally somebody understand.
How big's your circle?
You know?
How big's
Watch
your group?
me.
It's a reasonable size.
More than 5.
More than 5.
More than 5.
More than
More
5.
than 5, yeah.
More than 10.
More than 10. It's about
can be.
Yeah.
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 So
That's what-
you have command over 10 people's carnival.
Oh yeah, oh,
That's because they're
disposable income, yeah.
Let's
Wait
check
now.
a Soca.
Wow.
Brought to you by Carol Culture Marriott Studios. We shout out to
We will talk.
Wait.
There you go.
we shout out to Goodmuse. We shout
Wait,
out
boy,
to
this is
the
some-
Calabash man himself,
I can't believe
You know?
what's going on here.
Natural Mystic.
9 costume Annie, you know.
Oh, then listen, hey,
Wait.
let me close off this thing because I want you to dig a deeper hole for people.
Wait.
There's
So,
no
yeah.
hole that can be dug for me, but yes.
Oh yeah, make sure you like,
Have a
subscribe, and
lovely
share.
evening or morning, afternoon, daytime.
Yeah, blessings everybody. Super
Wherever
Shiny
you are.
vibes.
Annie.
Alongside my wonderful co-host.
Annie.
You know, we say thank you all for being here.
Yes.
What's the name of your co-host?
Annie.
Annie.
Mola,
9 costume
later.
Annie.
Oh yeah, we got
9 costume Annie. Okay.